Hello, hello, God, hello, and welcome to the United Stand. It's a morning show because we're playing at 12:30. And to be honest, I'm not normally a big fan of the Manchester United midday kickoffs on a Saturday. But I think based on the excitement of last week, I'm a big fan of it. Can't wait for it. So the team news is about to come in any second. We'll see what that team news is. And hopefully Manchester United will provide us with more excitement as we move closer towards the game. Scott Brown says it's going to be 4-0 to Manchester United. I think it should be, Scott. I think we should absolutely batter them. But if you're offering me anything now, I probably would take a draw. Not draw. Whoa. Retract. I would take a win, and any sort of win. We need to be winning this game, I think. 1-0 will do, but it's a perfect time in Australia for a game, says Ethan Halliday. And it feels like Christmas with this game being so exciting, says Vasti Plays Games, which I would agree with. I think it does feel like that. They've sold their best player to Everton, says Cooker. Abraham is a decent player for them, but in total honesty, he's not a player that I would lose sleep about in relation to the players that we have. We should be able to win this game quite comfortably. It doesn't necessarily see that we will, I thought the team news would come in then, and hopefully it'll be good. Mad Marcus just sending me a message there. It's all going off. But the team news is going to come in the next 60 seconds, which is fantastic. We're not expecting... Are we expecting anything bad? I'm not expecting to see... Michael Discon says he feels lonely. Don't be lonely. You've got over 1,000 people watching this show collectively. We're all part of the same community here. Don't feel lonely. I'm not expecting any shocks. I'm not expecting to see Fellaini in the starting lineup. I would be more than happy with the same lineup from last week, and we've got the same lineup from last week, so very happy with that. You know what? I applaud that, and I've got 11 out of 11. Yes, for the second time in the first 3 games of the season, if you count the Super Cup, I have got 11 out of 11. I'm not going to take massive credit from that because it is pretty much. I totally agree with not changing the winning team. Let me just get it up for you. Oh, that's what she said. So there it is. Team news going up there. It is the same team, and I think it's pretty much the same bench. Martial's on there. Lingard, Herrera, Lindelof, Smalling, Fellaini. So Lindelof's come in for... Who does Lindelof come in on the bench for then? That's interesting. We'll see on the bench there as it comes through. But yeah, Rashford, you know what? Martial, maybe he should start. Maybe Herrera should start. But why change a winning team? And also, it's a more expansive team as well. We've not chucked that extra midfielder into the... You know, we could have dropped Mata or Mkhitaryan and put Herrera in there and been a bit more strong in the midfield. But I like it. I like that expansive play. And I certainly feel more confident that we can win this game comfortably now if people turn up. So the subs last week were Romero, Smalling, Herrera... who are subs again. I'm just trying to see who's dropped out for Lindelof. Fellaini's still on the bench. That's what we would expect. That Lingard as well. Martial. No Pereira, but again, a bit like Herrera and Martial being on the bench. I think it's going to take a little bit of time. So Darmian is not. Darmian's the one who's dropped out for Lindelof. So you know that's encouraging from a Lindelof point of view. If you're a Lindelof fan, which I certainly am, that's quite encouraging that he's got that he's worked his way into the bench. Yeah, very happy without that. Should have Ross joining me about now. Ross, can you hear me?
How you doing, Mark? You alright?
Yeah, good, thanks. You?
Yeah, mate, really good, really positive. I've been looking forward to this all week.
Yeah, team news is in. He's kept the same team, did the preview in the week. I know you're an avid watcher of everything I do, but not said with any sarcasm at all. But no, realistically, I mean, we haven't spoken since... well, we haven't spoken. You did that great match reaction for us, and you were at the game last week. I sort of said, look, massive fan of Martial, massive fan of Herrera, but my management style or my, you know, whether it's FIFA or it's playing football or whatever, or it's a five-a-side game, if I've got a team that's won 4-0, it's kept a clean sheet, it's done really well, despite Martial's brilliant 10-minute cameo, I'd say to Martial, look, brilliant 10-minute cameo, you will get on at some point, you're probably going to force yourself into the team at some point, but I can't change that winning team, and I think that's great management.
Definitely, mate. Definitely. I was actually, if I would have picked the team based on Jose Mourinho's head, I probably would have slotted Herrera into it, being an away game, being a bit negative. But I'm really pleased he's done this, and we've, I think it's since the Fergie days where we have never really had a consistent 11. And if a team wins a game and wins it as convincingly as West Ham, you've got to stick with the same 11. So I'm really pleased with it. And if they do anything like they did last week, we're going to absolutely smash Swansea, and I think we will regardless. But big day, big game for players like Lukaku. Can he do it away from home? I think he will. I think he's going to dominate them today. But yeah, overall, I didn't think that selection would happen. But the fact that it has, I was very, very pleased to see it come in.
Mosh T said that Mourinho finally playing some attacking football, attacking style. I mean, I agree with you. I think, you've just said it there. I sort of expected us to go with Mourinho of old. I wouldn't have been surprised if we'd gone with Herrera in the midfield. It's an away game. You pull out Mata or Mkhitaryan and you just have that extra cover in the midfield. I think Mourinho's probably looked at it much like many of us has. Swansea drew with Southampton last week, and that was sort of a miraculous result in a way, because Southampton had nearly 30 chances and it still finished 0-0. I agree with a lot of fans that are going, 4-0 again, 3-1, whatever. And I really hope that happens, and it should happen. But part of me is like, let's not get too carried away. We don't know how bad West Ham were. This is an away game in the Premier League. Anything can happen in the Premier League. We've just got to go at it with the same mentality. And that's why it's great that we've got the same team, because they just need to go out and do what they did in that game. That you were at the game. The first half an hour, I thought, was a battle. It was quite an equal battle, but the quality came through.
Yeah, first half hour we were actually quite poor. There was a few standout performances, but overall, I thought we were poor. And I think the last 60 minutes made up for, covered the cracks, to be honest. And Mourinho knows that. He said it in his press conference. We're not a perfect team. We're not going to beat everyone 4-0. It's one game, and we have got to rein in our optimism a little bit. It's easy to get carried away. Let's not forget we won the first 3 games of last season. We all thought we were going to, win the treble, but it sometimes doesn't work out that way. But we're in a lot better position this season than we are last season. But, on today's game, it's one of your famous quotes that, I wouldn't care if it come off Fellaini's arse in the 88th minute and we win 1-0. Really couldn't care. It's 3 points today. And it's, I'm looking at rivals. I'm looking at Chelsea. I'm looking at Liverpool. And, we're already got a little bit of a lead on them. And you're looking to extend that, because I think other teams can still drop points. So it's just 3 points for me. It's nice to have play attacking performance and you see a good performance, but it's just 3 points at the end of the day.
We've got to take it game by game. I was talking about Mourinho and when he was at Chelsea, when he first came to United, he really does know how to dissect a league and see what each game should be. And this will definitely be a game that he'll be going 3 points today. And as you said, we won our first 3 games last year. We could win our first 3 games this year. And I do agree with you. We do need to sort of take the foot off the pedal in relation to that enthusiasm and just enjoy it. The excitement this week has been fantastic. In a couple of hours' time, we might, batter Swansea like Southampton did, 30 shots on goal, and come away with a point, and we're disappointed, and we're talking about we need to make signings again. So we will have a performance like that at some point, but I don't really see much reason for that. I don't really think Swansea are a very good side. Llorente's injured, Sigurdsson's left. They weren't good last week. I mean, what's your sort of feeling about the game in relation to a score prediction? I think I went 2-0 United, which I think is quite conservative. I hope it's better than that.
I've gone with 3-0 United, and there is no logic behind it. I just woke up this morning and I couldn't get 3-0 out of my head. So that's what I've gone for. But yeah, and that's kind of, I think your 2-0 is as well. I think all the 2-3-0s, 4-0 is a little bit optimistic, but again, it could happen, because once you get 2 or 3 past the team, they do tend to capitulate. And I don't really want to jinx it, but I can't really see Swansea having a lot to throw at us. I know that their forward, I think it's Abraham, is quite good, but who's going to feed him? They've just lost their best player. So it's going to be a real awkward game for Swansea. And I'm disappointed. I don't know who's running the United Stand Twitter account today, but they put that we were going to win 4-1, and I'm not happy that they put us down we're going to concede, because we are not going to concede today.
Right, it definitely wasn't me.
No.
I think clean sheets are good, especially when you've got De Gea and Baye in your fantasy football team. But yeah, I mean, anything can happen. Any goal can go in. But we should be looking for a clean sheet. And I think I read somewhere that United have not failed to score against Swansea for their last 12 Premier League games. And based just on last weekend, I'm sure we will score. But they don't get a lot of mention. I mean, Lukaku does, Matic has, both new signings, good start to the season. Pogba gets a lot of mentions. Mata and Mkhitaryan don't really get a lot of mention. And I think Mata, I said it all through last year, and people take it the wrong way. I wouldn't necessarily start Mata every game, but he'd still play over 30 games a season for me because he is Mr. Consistent. He is so consistent. And having him at the start of the season when you need to get results and you need to get momentum, and to have him and Mkhitaryan starting, I think Mata and Valencia work really, really well. I really do. In fact, what I will do, just to demonstrate this, it's one of the things that we've got with the preview show this season, is that when you've got Valencia, all he wants to do is hit that there. All he wants to do is do that. But what he gets from Mata is he can knock the ball into Mata, and Valencia's run there will take players with him. And then that opens up space for Mata to be looking in here and coming into this gap. Or he can play that ball down there. Valencia can blast his shot into space. But, cross shot into space. But Mata and Mkhitaryan have always worked really, really well. And, Mata and Valencia have always worked really, really well. Certainly better, I feel, than Lingard. And I think, look, what have I said negative about Lingard so far this season? Zero. He was good in pre-season. I did feel it was because he's skinny and his natural fitness levels mean he was fitter than everybody else. The season starts, Lingard's on the bench. That's exactly where Lingard should be for me. The frustration with Lingard was starting every week like he was last season. So I'm comfortable with where Lingard is, and I'm much more comfortable with the Mata-Valencia axes. And again, Mkhitaryan centrally, I don't know what you thought about him last week, but his best position is centrally. If we're going to play Mkhitaryan, he's got to play in that central position.
I think we spoke pre-season a little bit about Mkhitaryan, about how important. I don't think we saw the best out of Mkhitaryan last season by any shouts, and he was so important to us this year that we got the Mkhitaryan that we had at Dortmund, which was a ridiculous amounts of assists, top in the league. And you know what? He didn't get the ball too much on last Sunday, but when he got the ball, he was so clinical with it, and that's what the Mkhitaryan we need. And I'm so happy that him, and as you said, and Mata are starting. Like you just said, I didn't see what you were doing, but I take it you got your yellow pen out. But,
yeah, the yellow pen. It's the new star of the show. The chair's getting jealous.
That's it. But I totally agree, mate. I really love it, the fact that Mata comes. He basically plays as a left winger sometimes, and it just gives the team such a problem because they either all come over to the left to cover the extra men and give Valencia unlimited amounts of space down the right, or they cover the right-hand side space and then we just overload them on the left-hand side, which just causes a problem. And I really like that. And he's basically given Mata and Mkhitaryan a free role, and they're the right players to do it. And it's, again, something that we're not seeing Mata playing right wing-back. We're not seeing Rashford play left wing-back. They've actually got creative freedom. And Matic is the key to that, which is why we were all loving him last week, because Mourinho's got a man he can trust in midfield now to do the mopping up. So he doesn't need 11 men behind the ball every time they get the ball. And that creates the space on the counter-attack. So last week was perfect. Formation, the men, like you said, Lingard being dropped, it was fantastic. Not that we've got anything against him. Just more of the same. And the obvious substitutes are there today as well. You've got, Rashford not playing well. Look what you got on the bench. You've got a fired-up Martial. As well, if a midfielder's not playing well, I know you won't like it, but there is that Fellaini option, especially if they are, which they will do, be 9 men, 10 men behind the ball. Maybe Fellaini might come into the game. You never know. But again, just quickly, that's what we should be using Fellaini for, and that's what Mourinho's looked like he's doing. Let's not start the guy. If we're struggling, let's bring him on and maybe try a long ball. It doesn't hurt if you're desperate.
Yeah, I don't like Fellaini in a United shirt. Everyone knows that. But again, I'm not going to moan, and I haven't really moaned about him because if he is here and Mourinho does like him, he does. He's exactly where he should be, on the bench, as that bench option, like Ross says, last 15 minutes maybe. But No, I'm very, very happy with the way the team is being selected this season. I want to talk about Martial in a minute, but Ross is settling back into the preview like he was last year. And one section we did have last year is we both like a little bet, and I know a few of you do as well. We introduced got a fantastic offer actually with 10bet. Let's go to the page. The link is in the video description. So you can sign up with 10bet. It's now a United Stand official landing page that they've got, and you can get Manchester United to beat Swansea today at a massive 8-1 if you sign up and place a bet. The terms are there for you. But let's have a look, because we always have our little. Manchester United's 8-1 is very, very good. In addition to that, while I just get to the Premier League and go to the Manchester United game, you can bet on anything as long as you sign up. You are applicable for any of the offers that are available, so you don't just have to bet on United. But what they are also offering for us, as I said last week, is we've had 10 people sign up from last week, so not massive numbers, but I did say there won't be massive numbers. What happens is at the end of this month, anybody who's signed up will go into the draw. If you've bet more than £15 over the last 3 weeks, so a £5 a week or whatever, you will go into a draw to win one of 5 Manchester United shirts, and you can choose home, away or boring grey. It's up to you. So that will be drawn out at the end of the month if you sign up through the link in the video description and you place, three £5 bets or whatever it is, over 15 quid between now and the end of the month. So there's 10 people have signed up already. If we get 50, great, but your chances of winning 5 out of 50, and they will obviously contact you and we'll announce the winners on the show. So it is a proper link up. Some people were a bit concerned about that. We don't not do proper link ups. But Ross, have you got any? So I said Lukaku to score at any time, so I've sort of got a mini. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to go with it again. It's there on the screen. I'm going to go, look, I like to do a little bit of a £10 to £100 challenge. We started off with a tenner last week. I'm up to £17 because I got him at 1.7 last week. I'll tell you what, my bet is Lukaku to score at any time again. That's virtually 2-0, so I'll get my money up from about, you put a tenner on that, you get nearly 20 quid back. So that's my tip of the day, Lukaku to score at any time. Any thoughts, Ross? Are you confident enough to go with a score, or are you thinking a player?
I've done 2 bets. Last week I just did 1 bet, tenner on Lukaku, score first, and I won 40 quid because it's first goal scorer. So I was pleased with that. And I remember 4 or 5 years ago when Van Persie signed, and I was literally beating the bookies every week by doing Van Persie to score first, and he always did. And I've just got that feeling this year that it could be the same with Lukaku. So I've done a miraculous 15 quid on him to score first to win something stupid like 60 quid. And I've just done that, and I've just put a couple of quid on 3-0, which will only return about 15 quid. But yeah, that's my tip today, Lukaku to score first, and I hope it happens.
Yeah, I did say last week that Lukaku to score first was if you're a bit of a I like a safe bet, so I've gone Lukaku any time, but the value is in first goal scorer, which again a tenner would win you nearly 40 quid like Ross did last week. So there are our tips. Do your own, do whatever you want to do. But as I said, the link is in the video description to sign up, and we do have those 5 United shirts to give away at the end of the month. You can get them. You get United to win at 8-1 as well. Link in the video description. Remember, you've got to be over 18 to gamble, and do gamble responsibly. Certainly don't start gambling your mortgage or anything like that. It's meant to be a little bit of fun. So a £5 or whatever like that. But £10 to £100 challenge is on. Somebody just said, what will you be if Lukaku scores at any time today? So I'll go up from 17 to around 40. But, you can still jump on it. And my intention is to get us up there. Kondoka says, I hope... And let's talk Anthony Martial for a minute. Because Mourinho finally, Ross, did come out with comments about Martial last night. I don't know whether you heard those comments.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
So he's come out and basically said that he's got confidence in him, and he feels that he'll be a good player. Which normally it's quite a vague comment, but actually he very rarely mentions him. I don't know what you think, Ross, but I hope there isn't negativity amongst United fans saying, "Oh, Martial should be starting." I don't think you're wrong. I think Martial probably should be starting, but I related this to when I used to do Championship Manager, and if I ever get time to do FIFA Career Mode, which is very rare. And at the start of the season, when I've got my new signings and my form players, if my team wins, and even though I've got players I really want to play, I won't change a winning team to bring players in. I'll just be excited by the fact that I've got them on the bench for the last half an hour. And I think maybe that's Mourinho's approach, and it is. I believe it's the right approach to have, because don't play all your cards when you don't need to. Martial, keep him hungry. Herrera, keep him hungry. and I think that's the way to go.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Totally agree with everything you just said, to be honest. Yeah, it just needs a bit of patience from some of the United fans, because we forget that we're probably going to play 50, 60 odd games this season. Martial's probably going to get 40 odd games easily. So you're right. Look, it worked last week. Martial was fantastic. I think he was the first player since the Fergie era to come on and get a goal and an assist as a sub, which actually is quite relevant. But Rashford was fantastic as a starting player. They're both phenomenal. I don't think they can. I heard a lot of people saying, "Oh, we'll drop Mata, put Martial on." I don't think that works. You need one of them, and look, we've got two potentially. And don't get too excited, but I think we've got two of the best left wingers in the Premier League at the minute. They're both on fire, and what a problem to have. And when we get Champions League games, we get midweek football, they'll be rotated a lot more. But at the minute, Rashford didn't do anything to lose his place. Martial did a lot to give confidence to Jose, which is fantastic. And what you said about Jose's comments about Martial, I'm seeing that a lot with a lot of different players. It's not just Martial. He's even talking up Luke Shaw coming back, and I'm just seeing a very positive Jose Mourinho at the minute, and it's brilliant. It's what we all want to see. Back these players that he's got. I think he's had his season of giving them a bit of a hammering, whipping them up into shape. I think he's got rid of who he didn't want. He's got rid of the deadwood. And I think he actually likes who he's got now. And I think we will see more confidence comments and positivity towards these players that need it.
Yeah, good points. I think as well, there's a few people, and that's what the United stand's all about. It's about that opinion, and I have seen a few people saying, disgrace that Martial's not starting, Herrera's going to leave, and let's not get carried away, we're going to lose this, that and the other. But I think we've probably had last season, I don't look back on it with any warmth, really. I look back on it as, wow, job mission accomplished. We got into the Champions League. We won a trophy we've never won in the Europa League. But it wasn't one that made me feel massively proud, especially from Christmas to May. We've had a little hint this summer that we might start to see sort of the old United. And I think that positivity needs to be grasped and promoted, because it's very easy to be negative. And I think, a lot of the players and managers that we've had over the last 4 years do deserve that negativity. They've not performed, it's not been consistent, it's not been what we want. But when we do get a glimpse of it, and I think that was the great thing, you were at the ground and obviously saw it, and we heard it on the telly in the second half, and we've seen it throughout the week on the United Stand, and we've got the new show at 8 o'clock on the night after a game. So again, we'll be live at 8 o'clock taking your calls, and hopefully it's going to be a few weeks before we have a show where people are ranting about losing a game. I think hopefully it'll be positivity again today. That is good, because we need to encourage it. Fans' responsibility is to have an opinion, but I think when things are good, it's good to, I'm not saying players watch or follow social media. They probably do. They have a lot of spare time. It's nice for them to see that if they do things the way the fans want it, and I think football is about the fans, then that might drop into their head that, this is what the fans want. If I do this, I'm going to be loved. And I know that sounds very simplistic, but I think it's, it is our job as fans to give them that positivity, because there has been a lot of negativity.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Jose is responding to the fans a little bit better, and maybe better than previous managers since Fergie, but I remember in the Fergie era, basically the crowd used to pick the subs. And I know it sounds crazy, but, if we had Chicharito on the bench, we'd only have to sing his name and you'd know he'd be coming on. And every manager since then has been stubborn. Jose was the same last season, but I just got this feeling that he wasn't going to play Anthony Martial against West Ham. And then the crowd started singing his name over and over again. It became impossible for him not to pick him. And I quite like that. I like that he might be actually connecting with the fans as well as the players. I just see a different Jose this season. It's backed by crowd support. Because there was relentless support for Jose last season, because it was so frustrating that every time we conceded a goal at Old Trafford, all you'd hear is "you're not special anymore" from the away fans, and we got behind Jose. So
it's a learning curve.
Yeah, definitely, and he's learning. He's learned so much about what it is to manage United. You can see that. He's different to how he's ever been managing any other club, and I like that. I like the fact that he's adapting. He's not going in with that Louis van Gaal. I'm Louis van Gaal. It's my way or the highway. I'm the best manager in the world, because you're not. You're rubbish. So That's what I like, and I'm really excited for not just the, United this season, a season under Jose Mourinho, because I still believe out of every manager out there, you can give me, Klopp the flop, you can give me Guardiola, you can even give me Zidane. I'd drop them all for Jose because I think he's the right man in the right job.
He ticks more boxes than just trophies. I think you've got to have the personality big enough. But I think the reason I sort of jumped in there and said learning curve is I was speaking to somebody down there on my summer do on Thursday night actually, and they were saying like, you back Mourinho all the time, but you have sort of called him out on a few decisions. And I said, but like, I'll call my manager out on a few decisions. It's like I respect Mourinho, but I don't jump off a cliff for him if I don't agree with what it is. But I said, look, the reality is Sir Alex Ferguson was the best sports manager in history as far as I'm concerned, the achievements he made. But if you look at the managers that we've had over the last few years, I'd say Mourinho, probably, we've only had one game this season, and I agree with you, Ross, I think he is changing. But I'd look at Mourinho last season, divider. He's a divider manager. Not on everything, but some decisions, like his persistence with Fellaini divided opinion, his persistence with Lingard divided opinion. I think this year, hopefully, he's moving towards more inclusive, because the fans are important, because Sir Alex Ferguson wasn't a divider. He did make the odd decision that you'd go, why did you just drop Beckham and played Luke Chadwick? And there was probably a reason for that behind the scenes. But in essence, what you said there is true. Sir Alex Ferguson knew how to work the crowd, and he knew how important the crowd were, especially at Old Trafford. And he wasn't really a divider about the way he picked his team. He would pick Martial. I'm old enough to remember most of Sir Alex Ferguson's United career. Martial would be exactly the sort of player he would want to play. But there's no point in looking back about Sir Alex Ferguson. We already know what a great manager he was, the greatest. And we also know that he's been retired for 4 years and he's not coming back. So we've had Moyes, who wasn't a divider, he was just consistently bad. We had Van Gaal, who was stubborn and bad. And then I think last year we had Mourinho, who was good, but a divider. And hopefully this year he's moving towards Sir Alex Ferguson, where he'll do the odd decision that you don't agree with, but ultimately he's embracing what United is. And United is about the fans. And I don't care. People try and distance this and say they don't listen to the fans, they're not bothered about the fans. United are one of those clubs that if you mess around with the fans, and you lose the fans, then you will lose your job. And I think some people try to make out that that's not true, but it is true. Moyes was messed up. Moyes was going from that first couple of months when he lost the fans. It just took till the end of the season, because United will try and give somebody a chance, but he was gone. I think Mourinho this year, it was a learning curve last year, and I think this year he's starting to realise that, look, maybe he wants to play Fellaini and Lingard every week because they'll run through brick walls for him, but I don't think it's lost on him that he can't do that anymore.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree. And that's the excitement that we've got this season. And I just hope that it continues today. That's the main thing. It's easy to get carried away with what we're going to do this season and Jose being fantastic. But, going back to it, it's just 3 points for me today. And 3-0's nice. Lukaku first goal will be nice, but I wouldn't care if it's, one own goal that got us 1-0 win. I just want 3 points, because that feeling, every United fan, everyone watching this would have had that feeling that we had last week was fantastic. Just the overall joy and the build up to this game. It's something that I haven't had in a long time with United, which is why I just want that feeling to continue. And to really get the feeling, we would need to win 3-4-0, but 1-0 will see me through and to still be potentially top of the league. That's what I don't want to lose. I want to be that top spot come the end of Sunday.
Yeah, I agree, and I it's a good point as well. I mean, I remember last Saturday, United hadn't even played, and I was watching Match of the Day because the enthusiasm was there. Then we win, and the enthusiasm's there. I'm sure I'll watch Match of the Day tonight if we win, because we'll be on it, and then maybe I'll watch Sunday night Match of the Day tomorrow night because United are doing well. And it reminds me, I always said this, going back to Sir Alex Ferguson, me and my best mate, who was actually my best man as well. When we were in the midst of Sir Alex Ferguson, we often would have a conversation about what will happen when he retires, because we can never have it this good again. I believe we can, but we were spoiled. But it's that acceptance that I think the club managed it badly, and I think we're only just recovering from that. But I used to watch Match of the Day every week when Sir Alex Ferguson was manager, because I loved football. We were winning everything, and football's far more enjoyable. And I think for the first, I know it's only one game, you've got to be really careful, but like last weekend, I just felt like a flashback, because the football was good. We scored a load of goals. Flawless performance from everybody. People coming off the bench and being great. Mourinho looking happy. The fans absolutely buzzing. In a second half at Old Trafford to see the fans like that, we've not seen that for a long time. And that enthusiasm, I want it to continue because that's what it should be like at United. I just think the last 4 years, we've had it tough. And it can be like last week, most weeks. It can't be like it every week. And that enthusiasm, I mean, I'd say, like, I don't know how often you watch Match of the Day, Ross, but I'd say over the last 4 years, I've probably only watched it about 10%, 90% of the time. I don't watch it. And I want to get back watching it again. I want to start enjoying football. But that comes from your club making you enjoy it.
Yeah, I does sound fickle, but I only watch it when we win because I can't stand watching. I don't like the pundits. I don't like Alan Shearer. I really winds me up, and it winds me up even more when they're just criticising us, the manager, everything. They love it. They know they get attention from it. So when we lose or draw, I don't watch it. But when we win, it is quite nice to see them eat a little bit of humble pie and have to talk about how good we are and how powerful we are and how we might win the league. I quite enjoy watching that. It's like, it's good. Don't want to cut this short, Mark, but lunch is ready, so I'm going to have to go.
I was just about to say you can get off when you want to go, so that's fine. Do you want to come on at half time, or do you want to leave it for today?
Yeah, mate, I'll come on at half time. Who's on the watch-along today?
I haven't really got anybody because Marcus can't do it, so I think Xander's offered to do the second half.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, well, that's disappointing from Marcus, especially after all his Twitter polls. I'm furious.
I genuinely think there's something on. He did tell me a few days ago, so he's not left me in the lurch or anything like that. I know he's gutted to miss it. But do try and wind him up. Yes, I'm all for that. Definitely.
Yes.
I'll see you at half time then, pal, and hopefully we might have the game put to bed by then. But you're going for was it 3-0 you went for or
3-0? Yeah, mate.
3-0. Okay, I'll speak to you half time, pal. Enjoy your lunch.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
Ta-da. You can follow Ross on Twitter at Hazza90, and if anybody saw the video he did for us last week after the game, fantastic sort of 2-3 minute clip which you can send in yourself if you want to do that. Crack Master General says, I think Alan Shearer is quite fair, really. I don't like most pundits, I've got to be totally honest. In fact, I think BT Sports have really disappointed me. Exactly what England did in the noughties, pushing Scholes out for Gerrard and Lampard, your own funeral. I mean, they're shocking. Just because they're, I cannot stand Gerrard. Absolutely hates Liverpool. Needs a career in the media. Absolutely hates Manchester United. Needs a career in the media. Starts massaging the ego. Then again, I suppose you could say the same about Gary Neville. We can't just be fickle. I mean, Gary Neville celebrating with Arsenal fans doesn't sit right with people who remember him as a United great. He's a United fan, but he's got a career to build. But I don't like most pundits, and I think some of the BBC Match of the Day ones, I'd agree with Ross, are shocking. I mean, Jermaine Genius. But each to their own. They've all got to make a living. Absolutely pouring here in Mumbai. How's the weather where you are? Says Pratik. Well, we will be doing. It was raining a minute ago. It's not too bad today. It's quite autumnal. I like the autumn, and we've not had a great summer here. But we will be doing where you're watching from and all that jazz in a bit. The great thing about not having Marcus on the show for the first half is that I'm more than happy to do it. I've done watch-alongs on my own before. It just means more interaction with you, which means that I can just blast over to... there's a couple of things I want to do. Okay. Yeah, let's do this for a minute. So, right, this is the... Oh, that's not good. What's going on there? Is that something... That's not really encouraging. Why is that happening? I don't want that to happen. I can't do it. I can't do that at the moment. We'll come back to that. Something to do with the lighting, which obviously isn't an issue on this screen. Right, what was I going to say? Yes, okay, let's have a look at some of your comments. Lukaku with a brace says H Gaming. Shadow Wolf says the Premier League's a pub league. Standard wise, maybe you're right. Quality wise, it's the entertainment wise, it's the best league in the world because anything can happen. If the Premier League's a pub league, then what's the French league and La Liga? It's a kids league. The competitive nature of the Premier League and the entertainment level absolutely annihilates every other league in the world. But maybe you're right in relation to quality, but do we worry about that when it's entertaining? It's always the age-old question. Bring on the yellow pen, says Sideswipe. We will get the yellow pen back, don't worry about that. Yellow Pen is battling with the chair to be the best. It's raining, says Sarab Shind. Who is wearing the number 7 shirt, says Bedham11. Nobody at the moment. Martial on, please, says David Lee. And Pratic says Fabinho is quality. Matic is also quality. Fortune will not like that. We've got the normal happy birthday messages for me. Thanks for that. That's a nice running joke as well. And somebody just said 130,000 subscribers today. Look, it's the first time I've shouted it out on the show today. Please, if you are new to the United Stand, click the subscribe hologram in the bottom right hand corner and make sure you click the bell as well, because then you'll get notified when we are live. We are the biggest independent Manchester United fan channel on YouTube. We've got a fantastic community, which really is what the channel's all about. As you can see with the live comments, you're always on the videos with us, and a really vibrant and collectively welcoming community, you do a great job with us. So if you are new, make sure you click the subscribe button. You've found something that's going to be fantastic, that you're going to enjoy. People talk about addiction. I don't really like that word, but people come back for more because of the community that the United Stand drives, and it is a collective. So get involved and do subscribe, and remember that tonight at 8 o'clock it is. I really enjoyed this last week. I'm really looking forward to it tonight. There's a cynical side in me, a sadistic side also, that just thinks, well, what happens tonight at 8 o'clock is we go live, we do the Skype show, and you call in and you tell us what you think about the game, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and the passion, and everything like that. There's a sadistic side that's thinking, when we lose a game, that show is just going to be really, really interesting as to what people are phoning in and moaning about. But I don't want that to happen all season, if I'm honest. I want win, win, win. Positivity, positivity, positivity. So that's 8 o'clock tonight. We're live at 8 o'clock every night. We've got Skype shows on a Monday, a Thursday, and on 8 o'clock after every game. At the moment, while the transfer window's open, we're doing a transfer show every morning. We'll react instantly to any United news. So it is loads and loads of content, loads of interaction, and a real fan community. So subscribe and get involved. If we can get up to 130,000 today, brilliant. There's a share button underneath the video. Click the share it on your social media, Twitter and Facebook, and let's see what we can do. But just get involved. We know we get a lot of new viewers on the watch-alongs, and we want to keep growing all around the world. It's the one thing the United Stand's always been, is a global Manchester United fan. Vince Chapman's made a contribution, and what a good contribution question this is, or statement. He says, I'm so happy all we've got to moan at is Rashford or Martial. Last season it was Fellaini and Lingard, and a lot of negativity. So good. Moses says, draw, what formation you think we're running. Thanks for the contribution, lads. You can contribute to the United Stand through the dollar icon at the bottom of the the live chats. If you do contribute to the United Stand, thank you very much, but make sure you leave us a question or a statement or something, because we want to give you that shout out as well. What have I got my money on? Mark says side sweep. Okay, well, I do need to sort of cover that again anyway, because I think we've got a really good deal for you in August. It's through 10bet. The link is in the video description. I don't want to show you that page. I want to show you that page. So if you go to the link in the video description, let me whack back a bit. You can get Manchester United to win this game at 8-1 outright. This is a Manchester United. This is the United Stand specific page. You can only get these offers if you go through the link in the video description. It's exclusive to the United Stand. The reason we have this in August is that if you place bets to the value of £15 between now and the end of the month, you will go in the draw on August the 31st to win one of 5 Manchester United shirts. Home, away, boring grey, it's up to you. So as long as you sign up through the link in the video description and you place your bets with 10bet between now and the end of the season, you will be in that draw to win a Manchester United shirt. You've got to be over 18. Remember to gamble responsibly. Let's have a look at what, Manchester United 8-1 is a decent bet, and you will get that boost when you do that bet. So I know there it will say wherever you click Manchester United to win the game outright. I don't know what their normal offers are, 1.33. But as soon as you put that bet on, it will knock it up to 8-1 because it's exclusive through the United Stand. But my tip for today, got it right last week, is Lukaku to score at any time, 1.95. So 10 quid, you'll get £19.50 back. I think that's money in the bank that Lukaku will score at some point today. But as I said last week, if you're feeling a little bit more adventurous, go with Lukaku first scorer. A tenner will get you £37.50. And that happened last week. It could happen this week. But the safe money is anytime Lukaku to score. That's what I'm going with. But there are some good other offers. Pogba to score at any time, 3.25. Martial to score at any time, I don't think that's good value, 2.35, because what if he doesn't come on? But if he does come on, I'd quite fancy him to score. Anyone else as sort of an outsider? I don't know. I think Eric Bailly at 12. I just got a funny feeling Bailly might score today. I don't know why, but there we go. Let me come back to you lot. So yeah, the link is in the video description for that. I think we'll probably have about 40 people sign up, and that, you know, if you're one of them 40, 5 shirts, got a good chance of winning a United shirt. And get involved. Right. The link is in the video description for that. You've got to do it through that link in the video description. Someone who's just asking there, because that's the tracker that you've come through the United stand, so that they can put you into the draw. Do I watch WWE, says Fortune. I don't. I used to watch it. We were talking about The Rock yesterday, actually. Used to love the People's Elbow. The Flash or The Flash 2 says, I think having Rashford and Martial competing for one place on the starting lineup will keep them both on top of their game. Which, again, I think the fact that all we've got to moan about is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And it shows the progress. I'm just replying to somebody there. So what would I be looking for in this game? Tactically, I think it's going to be much the same as the game against West Ham. And the results, I think, also should be much the same as it was against West Ham. I think that is on the cards. That's what should happen. Whether it'll happen or not, I don't know. An away game in the Premier League is always a little bit a jump into the unknown, I suppose. But we are the favourites to win this game, and I think we should be winning this game comfortably. Let's see what happens. Focus on the positives, and I'm sure we can do it. But you know what? Let's just enjoy it for as long as it lasts, because last season we won our first 3 games of the season and we still finished 6th. So Mourinho is the master at that. He won't lose any sleep about the fact that if we do have 9 points after we beat Leicester on Saturday next week, he's not necessarily going to think we win the league. We need to maintain it week in, week out, and get that mentality going. Omar Gentles says, are we going to get a 4th signing? I still think with 2 weeks left of this transfer window, we will sign another player. Moses made a contribution. How do you think United is going to break 5 in the back? How is going to break 5? Well, Mourinho made this comment about wanting to sign a left-sided player who could play as sort of like a left wing back, i.e. Perisic, because he wanted to play the 3-5-2 or the 5-3-2. And we did play that formation in pre-season, and it's a formation I really like because it gives us 2 up front, whether it's Mkhitaryan or Lukaku, or whether you play Martial or Rashford up there with him. I personally would like us to develop into the 3-5-2, but a lot of that depends on getting somebody who can play that left wing back role. For Mourinho to say that and then not get somebody, it's not just not getting somebody, it's then not being able to do the formation that you were planning on doing. So I think we will sign somebody, and I hope that we do, because I do like this formation we're playing at the moment, but I would like to see a little bit more of the 3-5-2 as well. So I do think we'll sign somebody. Whether it's going to be Perisic or whether Perisic will sign, I believe it's Perisic until he signs a new contract. If it's not him, would we go for Lamar? Can Lamar play as a left wing back? Probably not. Let's just wait and see. I do think we will sign somebody. 3-5-2 when Shaw returns, says Sushas. That was actually in my head, but look, I want Luke Shaw to be a real decent player for Manchester United, and I think he can be. And I've always been positive about Luke Shaw, but it's got to be. He's got to stay fit. He's got to stay fit. And that is the only thing I cannot tell you about Luke Shaw. I can tell you what Luke Shaw's potential is. I can tell you that he's the best left back in England when he's fit and playing well. He's got to stay fit. And I said it at the time, in relation to the injury he had, the biggest problem was not going to be recovering from the injury. It was going to be the secondary injuries you get because you've damaged one part of your body and other parts of your body overcompensate, and then you start to get calf strains in your right leg because of the snapped shin in the left leg. So this is the thing that Luke Shaw needs to hopefully overcome. He's young enough to do it. Let's see. Where would Fabinho play if we signed him, says Owen Farmer? Well, I think Fabinho would be a decent backup player, whether it's midfield or a right back. The talk is that he wants to go to PSG, but Monaco won't sell him to PSG. And what tends to happen with that is the player still leaves, they just don't get the move that they want. So it could be Manchester United. I still think that Fabinho could end up at Man City. And if he did end up at Man City, just like I said about Mendy, they're players that I would take at United. So I'm not going to turn around and say Fabinho's a bad player just because he doesn't come to United. But could he come to United? Yeah. George Kyle talks about the mental block you get after horrific injury. I have seen Luke Shaw go into tackles, 50-50 full-blooded tackles after this injury. So I don't necessarily think that mental block is there in the literal sense that some players shy out of tackles. But maybe he might have a mental block where he's. Look at Daniel Sturridge at Liverpool. I think if he gets out of bed and he's got a paper cut, then that's him out. He's out for 6 weeks. He's got a weak mentality around injuries. Some players, you think of like Brian Robson and that, they would play football with their leg hanging off. Roy Keane, the same. High threshold of pain. That's the thing with Luke Shaw we don't know about. Are these injuries just because he's got a mental block on, I've got a strain, I don't play. One thing I would say when I used to play football, and it will be the same for professionals as well, and a lot of you, is you never play a game where you're totally feeling 100%. You've always got a niggle, whether it's a strain or a muscle or something like that. You always play with a niggle. I used to get a lot of it in my ankles. So, do you like DT from Arsenal Fan TV? Says Fortune. I don't watch it. I think he's I think he does obviously well at what he does, and he's quite vocal about it. But I guarantee he's the sort of bloke that if he ever had a chat with us on the United stand, he'd wind his neck in and probably just talk about football. There's a lot of bravado, isn't there? Is what I would say. Hope we keep a clean sheet, says Andrew, and more this season as De Gea has been so close to the Golden Glove last few seasons. His quality and loyalty deserve him that honour. Yeah, it'd be nice to do that. Clean sheets are important. I used to play as a defender, and you take great pride in that. And it's difficult away from home to keep a clean sheet, but it's not beyond the realms of possibility that we win this game 3 or 4-0. I've gone with 2-0 because I just don't want to sort of be over enthusiastic. I am, but I don't want to be publicly over enthusiastic because confidence comes before a fall or whatever it is. But I'd take any result today. As long as we get 3 points, I would take any result, because we will have to grind out results if we want to win the league. You can't win 4-0 every week. So I don't mind as long as we win, really. Obviously, I want us to be entertained. Right, everybody, this is the good bit of the show. Where are you watching from? And if you want to put what time it is, great. But I think it's a good time for you in New Zealand and Australia. A lot of you have said that. You like the midday kickoff. But get commenting. And Owen Holmes has made a contribution. Thanks you, Owen. He says, is Martial a possible left wing back? Well, Mourinho himself said yesterday, as an attacker, he's got a lot of confidence in him, which I think was spot on, that defensively, maybe he doesn't. But let us know where you're watching from. And Nemanja Vidic has made a contribution. Mark, love the channel, long time watcher, first time contributor. Would love to hear your vision for our channel. Love to see it go to the next level. We have enough support here to help out. And that's Sid from Australia. Well, you know what? Why can't we talk about that for 60 seconds or so? Look, the United stand developed towards the end of last season with the Skype shows that came in last season. We're always looking to be more interactive with you. I'm more than happy to sit and do shows and everything, and that's what happens. But we want to get more of you involved, so we're always looking at ways to do that. That there are things coming up. That's all I can say. Maradon Fellaini's made a contribution. Martial is going to need a hat-trick to start. I do actually think he will get involved, by the way. I do think that he will get involved in the first team at some point. We've got people watching from Cornwall. 2-0 is my prediction. Thank you. Well, let's not get. Somebody just said there, what will be your reaction if we lose the game? Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's not start saying we're going to win the game 5-0, because you just don't know in the Premier League what's going to happen. we could get a player sent off in the first 5 minutes and it could ruin our game. We could pick up a couple of injuries. There's always a worst case scenario in football, and I'm not thinking about that because there's no reason to think about negative things until they actually happen. But could we lose this game? Well, Burnley beat Chelsea last week. Nobody would have predicted that could happen. So, of course, we could lose this game. Do I expect us to lose it? No. If we did lose it, I think you just look at what happens and why we lost it. Was it down to individual errors? Was it down to lack of application? I don't think we can lose this game if we turn up with the same mentality that we had last week. If the players don't turn up, then it's on the players, isn't it? I think Mourinho's doing it the way we want him to do it. So we've got Jason Brew from South Africa, we've got Pratik from Mumbai in India, we've got Ninja Sunshine from Rochdale, Oliver's in Switzerland, Harry Bennett's in Newport. It's 11:17 PM in New Zealand, and that's from TJD Sports Video Games, which actually is a good time to watch a football game, isn't it? I suppose you're going to be up a little bit late, but it's better than 2 or 3 in the morning. Jim Jimmerson is in Dublin. Swords is quite close to Malahide. I know it well. Used to go out there for a few beers every now and again. Daniel Roberts is in Liverpool. Hopefully a United fan in Liverpool. Jamaica for Ricochet. South Africa, Kenya, Mars. That's got to be something. Max Leonard, I've signed up for 10 bets. It doesn't say the odds are 8-1. Max, that's the deal. That is the deal. Make sure you go through the link in the video description, and if you have any problems with that, drop them an email and copy us into it, soccerboxtv@gmail.com. But that is the deal. As long as you put that bet on, then you go through that link in the description, it will pay your winnings out as an 8-1 bet. Make sure you read the things before it, but it is all set up, so don't worry about it. And if it doesn't happen, make sure you put the email in through to us, and then we'll chase it up for you. Balbriggan, says the one and only BJ. It's 13:18 in Munich. Somebody just said there, that whizzed by. Hong Kong, Hawaii, Canada, Bangalore in India, London, Wiltshire, Dubai, Afghanistan, Morocco, East London, Sweden, Lisbon, and Chicago. I love it. I started doing this because I'm very nosy, but I do love the fact that we get so many people watching from all around the world, which is absolutely brilliant. Okay, what else do we want to do? We are only 10 minutes away from kickoff. I love doing the preview show and the team news because we are only now 10 minutes away from the start of the game, and that is obviously very, very exciting. Been waiting for this all week, and I'm sure you're feeling the same. And I think what I want to do, yes, let me just get this. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I love this bit, and hopefully the lighting is slightly better. It's a little bit grainy, but this is how we're lining up for the game today then. Manchester United. I just want to get the yellow pen out. So this is how we'll line up today. What you want is Lukaku here, playing on that back line of the Swansea team, because they will play deep, because they'll be worried about balls from there. There'll be balls from there. Rashford's going to be running like that. That's what he does. And Mata, like I say, he'll be coming in to these areas here, looking to slip in Lukaku. So Swansea are going to try and keep their line around there, which means that people like Pogba can get forward, and Matic is just going to stay along there. But what Matic will do, as I said the other day, because Rashford bombs on a lot, Matic will move into these spaces. And there's a real responsibility. I spoke about this in the week. Look, we know Valencia's going to get there a lot, but we also know that Valencia's cross is going to go there, you know, blast it. It's not the quality. What the responsibility is on Blind is to get to around this position, to progress. He's not got the pace to do it, but work your way up into this position a lot. Because if you get Blind here, that is the cross we want. That is the golden ticket. That sort of cross naturally coming in from the side so that Lukaku can attack it and a defender's in trouble because they might put it in their own net or give a corner away. What I hate is the Valencia cross, but I don't like the Mata cross either that curves in that way. Defenders, boom, boom, boom. Lukaku, a cross like that, he's got to try and glance it in. It's possible, but that's the Hollywood ball all the time. That sort of ball into there. So it's the danger zone for a defender. Between the defensive line and the goalkeeper, that is the danger zone. So you've got your defenders, you've got your goalkeeper, and this area here is what Lukaku wants to attack. Valencia can't hit it because he just blasts it. Mata can't hit it because he's not going to get past there. But that ball into the channel, into there. And that's Daily Blind's very important today. As will Luke Shawby, as will anybody that we can get that can play that position and form in a 3-5-2. Bay and Jones, nothing said about Jones. No real problem with Phil Jones playing today. No real problem at all. He played well last week. We kept a clean sheet. Why change it? Will Phil Jones get himself injured? More than likely. Will Phil Jones make a mistake? I don't know. Maybe, to be fair, Rojo this time last season, nobody wanted him in the team. Rojo now, we can't wait for him to get back. Maybe Phil Jones has turned into a good defender again. I don't know. But it's certainly interesting. Let me just have a quick look at something. Okay, so we are literally 8 minutes away from the kickoff, folks. I'm really pleased about that. The fact is, did Swansea win the first match? Manchester United goes through. Okay, watching from Barcelona. Right, viewing figures are doing fantastically well. Let's hit 129,000 subscribers. Link is in the link is in the bottom corner. If you're new, make sure you click and subscribe to the channel. Fantastic community on the United Stand. Maybe we could do 130,000 today. That would be great. If you've got the time to click the share button at the bottom underneath the screen, that will automatically open up Twitter, Facebook, or whatever social media you have. If you can click and share it, that would be great. I don't miss people's super chats, Churu. Look, I really, if you want to get on my nerves, start mentioning missing super chats, because that is something that I repeat so many times. The super chat, if I see it and I'm not mid-sentence and I'm not answering somebody else, obviously I will say it, but that is quite rare. So what will happen with the super chats is every 10 minutes or so, I go to a page that lists off the super chats and I read them out. I don't miss super chats. They don't get missed. Right, Marcus Theed says, have you got my 100,000 subscriber play button yet? It's on order. As soon as you get a play button from YouTube for having 100,000 subscribers, it takes about 3 months to come through. It is on order. When it comes through, it will have pride of place because it's not just mine, it's yours. SN Siddharth says, between loss and a draw, what would you prefer? A draw? Is that a trick question? Yeah. David O'Connor says, hi Mark, loving the channel. Royton lads, Doc and Lockie watching from Adelaide, South Australia. Hello David, hello to the lads who are watching it with him. Really excited about the game. And that's that from the super chat. So thank you for all of those that I do review every few minutes to make sure that everybody gets mentioned. But this is the greatness of the watch along, really. It was your idea to do it. It wasn't our idea. And basically people were just like, oh, watch Manchester United here or whatever. I'm always on my own because nobody else will watch it with me. And that was the great thing about the watch along, is to get that community worldwide of Manchester United fans watching it together. But remember, that's not what the United Stand's all about. Again, 8 o'clock tonight, we're going live on Skype. You call in, give us your thoughts on the game. So if you're thinking about calling in later, have a few thoughts during the game. What you think's been good, what you think's been bad. Live every night at 8 o'clock and in the mornings with the transfer show. So get involved with the community, a fantastic community that we have here, and we're very close to the game. Oh, I've just been waiting for this all week, as I'm sure all you have as well. Buzzing, absolutely buzzing. And the first half I will be with you lot. You will be my co-commentators, so try and give me some good stuff about how you think the game's going. I love the tactics, I love the observations, so we'll definitely be interacting with you. Get Ross back on at half time, and we're with you right the way through till full time now, so get involved with us. Am I worried by Swansea? Somebody just said then. No, not at all. I don't necessarily think Southampton are a great team, and Southampton should have battered them last week. They had like 30 shots on goal and didn't score. I would imagine West Ham probably would beat Swansea. So we should be very confident that we can win this game. Very confident. But whether we do or not, look, Premier League can throw up anything. What I will say is that we should win it. We should win this game. No doubts about it. And I'm confident that we are going to win it. But let's see what's going to happen. We need a meet-up in Ireland. Marciala's number 7. What do you think, Kieran O'Connor? Thanks for the contribution, Kieran. Well, he's number 11, isn't he? So, look, that's one of, you know, at times last season we had our bench and we were like, that's not a very good bench. And I look at the bench today and I just get excited by the fact that Herrera and Martial are on it and we're not massively missing them. You know, maybe Martial should play where Rashford is. Maybe he will do in time, but I don't look at that midfield and go, Herrera should be in there. I'd like him in there, but I look at the bench and I go, I'm excited. So I'm excited at some point in this game. Martial will definitely come on. Whether it's 10 minutes when we're winning 3-0 or whether we're drawing and we need a goal, Martial will come on. And that's an exciting thing to have. But at the moment, don't change a winning team. I've got no problem with it. Do not change a winning team. So we are very, very close to kick-off. I need to just sort my timer out. Whack your score predictions in and let us know what you think about that. I'm going 2-0 conservative. Ross went 3-0. I think it could be 4-0. I'm not going to disagree with people who say that. It really could be anything you want it to be. But ultimately, it really does come down to the fact, I just want to win this game. I want to take this game. You won't get negativity from me if we win it in the last minute 1-0. I might say we made hard work of it, but I just want to win the game. That's where it be all and end all for me. Right, I'm just going to trial the timer for you. So we've not actually kicked off yet, but I just want to make sure that it's working. Okay, as you can see the score to my left, your right. It says 0-0 at the moment because it is 0-0. And underneath that, you can see a timer. We're 8-9 seconds in. Okay, so that's working. So that's when you'll know the kickoff happens. We're not kicking off yet, so I'll just reset that. Everything's up and running. I'm worried we'll lose Martial if he's on the bench too often, says Nobby Styles. Martial's not going to go anywhere at the moment. He's not going to go anywhere at the moment. And that, for me, is step one. He could have gone this summer. If we'd got Perisic earlier, would he have gone? I don't know. He's here to stay. And for this season, what he does and what opportunities he gets is, one, based on how well he plays when he gets an opportunity, which last week was fantastic, and two, on the appetite of our manager to use him. They're the things we've got to observe. Sean Greeter says 3-1 to United. MDC Mo's Media says 4-0 to United. Jack Subramanian says 2-0. Stephen Dyer says Swansea 2-1. United are overhyped from an absolute shocking West Ham game. Stephen Dyer, everyone remember that name. Stephen Dyer said we're going to lose 2-1 because we're overhyped. So let's remember that. Oh, what a lovely cup of tea that is, and it's in the United shirt. That's what a brilliant wife's all about. Anmar says 12-0 United because that's what happened when he played Pro Evo. Take us to the pitch, says Good at Abra. And who are they all applauding? I don't know. It wouldn't be Bruce Forsyth, would it? No, Gwillem Joseph. Obviously something to do with Swansea. A nice touch there. Lindelof's on the bench today, the United stand. Yes, he is. I've changed my team lineup. I did have Darmian on there before. Right. Fasten your seatbelts. It is all about to kick off. Literally. We've been waiting for this all week. Swansea are having a hug. We're having a collective mental hug. We're in this together, everybody. Let's crack on and do this. We can do it. We're going to do it. This is the positive thing that Mourinho's bringing in now. He gets it. We get it. We know what we need. This is not a great Swansea side. Let's get our foot on the ball. Let's push them back. Let's get it won by half time so we can bring on Martial, Fellaini and Herrera. We're about to kick off and we're off. We're up and running. Here we go. Come on. So, Rashford's playing quite far forward. It's not really a conventional 4-2-3-1, and it wasn't at West Ham either. What you've got is, you've got your back four, and you've got Pogba and Matic, obviously, as the two in front. You've got Mata playing on the right, but a more withdrawn right, and then you've got Mkhitaryan playing at number 10, but then you've got Rashford playing quite far forward on the left-hand side. It's an imbalanced system, but it works well because it means Rashford sort of supports Lukaku. You could almost call it a 4-2-2, a 4-2-2-2, but we sort of neglect the left-hand side, which we know we do. Mata is playing more to the right, and Rashford plays quite far forward. It is all Swansea at the moment, but it's gone out for a goal kick anyway, and The ref's given the goal kick, which is good. Who's the referee? That's always a good point. I didn't notice who the referee was last week, and I hope that that is the same this week. We're fast approaching 129,000 subscribers, everybody. Remember to subscribe if you're new, bottom right-hand corner. Do drop us a like. Oh, I forgot. This is a bad omen. 1,000 likes before kickoff is what we always get. And I always think it's a good omen in relation to the result. We didn't quite get it. So if you haven't liked the video, let's quickly do it now and we'll forget that we've already had 2 minutes of this game. Jack Brown says stop being negative. Yeah, I think the one thing I'm not so far this season is negative. I do believe. I said we're going to win the league. I'm basing that on a stat that Mourinho always wins the league in his first 2 years. But the start has been good by Swansea and United have started feeling this game in, which is good. Orison says he can't take another draw. We haven't actually technically drawn a game in the league for quite a while, have we? Because we got beat by Arsenal and Spurs. We beat Palace. We've beat West Ham. But as I said, Daley Blind's got to be progressive down that left-hand side. Let's see if we can get some decent crosses in. If you could bring any player back that played for United and still plays football, who would it be? Says Connor Leeming. That's a decent question for us to consider. We like a few questions sort of thrown at us during a game. Ronaldo. Easy. Right, United are starting to get hold of the ball a bit here. Pogba's giving it away. Bailly. Oh. Made a mess of that, Bailly. He tried to put it out. It's hit the player. Swansea into the box. Oh, should have been 1-0. Should have been 1-0. Cross went over De Gea and their player wasn't there to head it home. Lucky escape for United there. All came from the fact that Bailly tried to blast it out. It hit the Swansea player. Fortuitously went down the wing and the Swansea player was onto it. But it's not a great start from United at the moment. We are only 3 minutes in, but it's all Swansea in relation to ball possession and pushing forward. But they've given it away now. Lukaku, he's going to get away. He's got the pace. Oh, he's going to have to hold it up here. He needs a player. Oh, and he hits it wide. End to end there. Good 60 seconds. Swansea in down the left. Put the cross over there. There's a player running in and he just misses it. And then at the other end, Lukaku gets away. Gets a shot away with his right foot. He needs to work on the build-up play of things. But the Swansea chance was... how they don't score that. Absolutely fantastic chance for Swansea. Lovely cross. Lovely cross. It should be 1-0 to Swansea. And then United getting away with Lukaku. Had the pace and the power to get away, but had to hold it up on the edge of the box. Tried to play Rashford in with an absolutely atrocious pass, which is something Lukaku needs to work on. But it fell back to him and he shot it wide. Insane. As I said, Scholes would be my first choice player back. No, it was who's still playing, mate. I would agree with you about Scholes, but it's who's still playing. Need to focus on the counter-attack today, says Night Whisper, but an interesting start. Interesting start to the game. Mark can't show the game, says Katie Graham. I know we always get people saying, can you show the game? This is a watch-along that was... it was an innovative idea from you. United Stand's been around for 3 years. We've been doing watch-alongs for about a year and a half now. It was an idea from you to say, can you go live when United are playing? Because I have to watch a game on my own and I want to interact with United fans when they're live. That's what the watch-along's about. I'd love to have a little screen there. I don't know where we'd fit it, of showing you the game. But we're not Sky, we're not BT Sports. And anybody who is showing football games that are in the UK that's not BT or Sky Sports, it's illegal and the channel will get taken down. So we'll update you with what's going on if you can't watch the game. If you are watching the game, just mute the rubbish commentary you get wherever it is. Sync in with our timer, interact with United fans. That's what the watch-along's all about. I can't show you the game. I'd love to be able to do it, but we can't do it. It's really about a load of a few thousand United fans collectively in a community interacting with the game. That's what it's all about. We can't counter attack because of Lukaku's build-up play, says WTOX154. Don't worry. Just don't worry in general. We've got a corner here. Alfie Mawson is an ever-present player for Swansea under Paul Clement. Interesting fact. Kwame says, I think people need to understand. It's not a corner, it's a goal kick. Everyone needs to is underestimating the effect of the Old Trafford crowd. He still thinks we'll win, but they were the 12th man last week. We've had a contribution here from Orison. Thanks, pal. He says, if I could pick underrated player from the past, it would certainly be Dennis Bergkamp. What would be your choice, Mark? I disagree. I don't think Bergkamp was underrated at all. I've been watching football for 3 decades, and I very much remember that era in the Premier League. And Bergkamp was definitely not underrated. He was one of the best players in the league at the time. So a very good player. I think he'd be perfect. I'd love to have. I really do rate Bergkamp like I rated Henry. Underrated players. Rashford just had a shot there, gone wide, and it's gone for a goal kick. But United started to feel their way in. I think that those people who are sort of expecting us to come and roll roll all over Swansea, it will never be like that. There will be phases of the game where Swansea get the home crowd up and have a go. Over 90 minutes, we should do it though. Woody says, how can you get a United stand mug? Just invite Marcus round for the day. We're not selling the mugs at the moment. I don't think we've ever sold the mugs. I have got a few, and I sort of just give them out to people as a little collector's item. But I'm sure we can. Matter, you should have seen that pass to Rashford there. Mkhitaryan, sorry. He had Rashford free, and he didn't play the pass, which is surprising from Mkhitaryan. But United are starting to push forward at the moment. Here's Valencia down that right-hand side. Rashford's got to really be on it today. He knows he's got Martial breathing down his neck, and I think it's going to be really interesting to see how that develops between them. Marcus, a few complaints about people typing goals. You know what to do. Time them out. Let's get the community live chat the quality it should be, which I know he will do. I think we've got a free kick here for United that Mkhitaryan's going to take. Nigel Jones has just made a fantastic comment. He says, we are doing so much better this season in relation to 50-50 balls. It's a bit of a cliche that Stoke always used to win the second ball, but if you're a quality team like United, but you master the ability to win 50-50 balls and the second ball, you're going to start being successful, and Mourinho is big on that. Right, we've got a cross coming into the box here. Remember I said I had a funny feeling that Eric Bailly would score today? I'm not saying... If you've got him at 12-1, well done. He's not scored yet. Oh, Phil Jones has hit the bar. Oh, he should have scored. Good cross from Mata. I thought he'd scored. He's hit the bar. Phil Jones. Oh, well, anyone who had him to score, you'll be gutted because he never scores. But we are starting to take control again of the game. But we are taking... It's been a good first 10 minutes. The trouble is that the lunchtime kickoffs can traditionally be quite frustrating because it can be quite slow. He's got to score that, Phil Jones. He gets ahead. It's a good cross. Interestingly enough, he doesn't even head it. It hits his. I think if he heads that, it's 1-0. It hit his shoulder. Hit his shoulder. So it remains 0-0 with 10 minutes gone. Rashford's getting booed apparently. Got no idea. Tim Mortier says good effort from Phil Jones. It wasn't a good effort because it hit his shoulder. I think if he headed it, he would have scored. But we're getting a lot of the ball in this position that I really like, which is Matt Mkhitaryan running at their back four with 3 options ahead of him. But Swansea are getting a lot of players behind the ball. I think if we get that first goal, it's key. Oh, good defending by Swansea. Lukaku nearly put somebody through there. But it's all about the first goal because they can't play defensive then. But it is all United at the moment. With it 129,000 subscribers, everybody, if you are new, remember to subscribe and get involved. Fantastic community on the United Stand. Some have said we'll hit 130,000 today. I'll believe it if we see it, but remember to keep sharing the video with the share button and subscribe and all that jazz, and we might do it. But at the moment, I think Rashford started very, very well. Oh, lovely little run. He's not going to keep it in. And we're not going to get a corner. Rashford dived against Swansea last season. That's why he's getting booed, says the special one. See, there's so much knowledge on the live comments as well. Olawatsi Kamiyu is watching live in Nigeria. Brilliant. Love the fact that we have so much support worldwide. Manchester United. My prediction was 2-0, says John. Well, my prediction is 2-0, John Michael O. We have to win this. Let's stay top of the league, says Matthew DeSavage 101. And a lot of people saying that Rashford's getting booed for diving last year. Jose should play Serial more minutes. I think he's on about Martial. Into Serial says, I'm Italiano, viva la vita. Don't know what that means. And who's your favourite player at the moment, says Jack Welsh. Martial and Rashford have always been my favourite players for the last 18 months. I just love Rashford because of what he is. He symbolises Manchester United. He's a flair, he's a flair player. He's come through the youth system. He's exciting. And Martial, he is our best flair player. They're the sort of players that get me off my seat. So them two are my favourite players. And I think it's really exciting and interesting how those two are basically competing for the same position. But that's what big clubs need. I'm excited that at some point Martial will get on. The start of the season is weird. I mean, at the moment, just to keep you updated, United are just keeping the ball at the moment, which is, we're just getting control of the game, which is important. After quite a hectic first few minutes in which Swansea should have been 1-0 up. A good bit of play that was by Swansea, a bit fortuitous. But I think the first few games of the season are really weird because it's almost like you can't get everything. It's a mini season where you can't get everybody involved. We've got 3 games, then we've got an international break. We're already in the Champions League, so we haven't got 2 qualifiers either like we normally have in the last few years, or the Europa or anything like that. So we've got 3 games, then we've got an international break. And to get everybody involved in those 3 games is going to be very, very difficult. The season really starts in September, and you come back and hopefully you've got a 9-point lead, a 9-point start. But the season really starts when we had that first international break done. You come back for the league, then you've got League Cup, Champions League, and you start to utilise your squad. So Martial and Herrera and people like that may need to be a little bit more, may need to be patient. That's what it comes down to. Jackie Alden says his favourite player at the moment is Valencia. Look, there's probably not a player in United's team at the moment that I dislike. I don't like Fellaini in a United shirt just because of the sort of footballer he is. I dislike that sort of footballer. But, he comes on and he's in the right place for a United team now. Here we go. Crossed by Mata. Oh, Lukaku, I thought he was going to score. We need him to score. I've got him anytime goal scorer. Remember, if you are getting a little bit bored and you fancy having a little bet, link in the video description. We've teamed up with 10 bets. If you sign up with them, you will go in the draw to win a Manchester United shirt, 1 of 5 at the end of the season. So if you are somebody who fancies a little bet over the next few weeks, the draw is on the 31st of August. All you've got to do is put your bets on to the value of £15 over the next 2 weeks, and you will go in a draw to win 1 of 5 United shirts. And good chance of winning as well, because I bet we'll only get about 40 or 50 signing up. So link in the video description for that. They've got in-play bets on this as well. And my tip was Lukaku to score at any time. The odds will probably go up for that with every passing minute because the game gets shorter. So I still think any time Lukaku to score. Pogba, a speculative little cross there to Lukaku, but the keeper came out. And Abraham, as highlighted by Draughty Devil on Twitter today, he did say that Abraham from Chelsea's on loan is a decent player, and he has started off well. Swansea have got a decent player in him, but it's an 11-a-side game, and I don't think man for man they're anywhere near our quality. So we need to stop them trying to play football, which they are at the moment, and getting a little bit tight. And as I say, 50-50 ball won by Mata there, and it makes a hell of a difference. And Matic is sort of taking over from what he did against... Matic is just what Carrick was. Slightly different players, but similar sort of job. They run the midfield and give people the confidence to express themselves further ahead. But 100%, those people who are worried about Herrera, if we were playing, say, City away today, or even Liverpool, or even, Chelsea, you wouldn't see Mkhitaryan and Mata starting. One of them would, but Herrera would be in there, and we'd have a much more combative midfield. This is encouraging that away from home, Mourinho has basically said, I'm going to win this. Matthew De Savage says, how old were you when you started this channel? Mid-30s. I really want Martial to come on, says Ismail. Have patience, young Padawan. And come on United, says Sotti and Pay. Brody Murphy, sorry. And already see us playing through Valencia way too much, says Nate Bockel. Really good observation there, Nate. It's been mentioned quite a lot. Marcus was mentioning it on the watch along last week. We're too dominant down the right hand side in the way we play. We need to use the left more, and Rashford isn't really, when you look at what Mata does, he doesn't really play deep enough. But that's a rubbish cross from Valencia. See, the shame is that Blind is a better crosser of the ball because it's a natural left footer than Valencia, but Valencia gets 10 times the opportunities to put the cross in than Daley Blind does. Shaka Phillips, sorry, I call him Shaka because he does comment a lot and he's been with us for a long time. He says, do you think a 3-4-2-1 formation would work for Manchester United this season? Is a 3-4-2-1 not effectively just the 5-3-2? It's slightly adapted, so it can work. We need to get Shaw back, says Nigel Jones. I'd agree with that. No way I'm over 30, says Michael Foley. I am. I was having this conversation at work yesterday because I started a new job about 2 months ago, and they were like, I can't believe they've employed somebody so young. And they thought I was in my mid-20s, and obviously quite a senior position. But that's not always a good thing. Although it is. Who am I kidding? Looking young when you're a lot older than people think is very good. I look at my school friends, and some of them are lucky if they've got hair. They're about 3 stone overweight, and that's what happens to you when you start touching 40. But I am fortuitous in that way. Thank you, God. But in all seriousness, Rapids Danny says it's boring football. Oh, come on. We're 20 minutes into a game away from home. I think it's very fast paced. I think that's a bad foul by Fair on Matic. He should get a yellow card for that. Did he get a yellow card? Did he get a yellow card? Should be a yellow card for that. I don't think it's been a boring start at all. I think it's been a good start. Cross coming in from Daley Blind there. He was a bit too close to the byline to get that natural whip into the danger zone I was talking about. Blowing your trumpet again, Mark, says Eric. Look, if somebody serves them up, I'm going to smash them. Someone says, oh, you look really young for your age. I'm not going to sit back and say no. The Fridge says, and thanks for the contribution, The Fridge. You can contribute through the super chat option, through the dollar at the bottom, but make sure you leave us a comment so we can read it out. He says, this is a cool match. I've quite enjoyed the game. Very good chance for Swansea in the first minute or two, which I think is perfect that they missed, obviously, but it's perfect for us to sort of think, it's not going to be easy. We're going to have to work at it. They've definitely had the best chance of the game. I can't believe they didn't score it. I mean, it wasn't a sitter, but it was just like a good bit of play. And how did he, it was a wonderful cross. Lindelof could have played, says HSHDSBSBSBS. Good start for United and Swansea. It's not dissimilar to the start against West Ham. Lukaku, good body control, well blocked by the centre-back. I think Swansea have started off defensively quite well. A very intriguing game. Very intriguing. I'm enjoying it. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I think it's, but I do believe that United's class over time will, Swansea are definitely giving it everything, which is what you would expect. They're probably playing at their limit. I think United's quality will out, hopefully. We have to win, says Johnny Music. Well, United have to win every game, really, don't they? Lucas says, does everyone think your wife is your mother then? I do wind my wife up about that I say I'm sure everybody probably thinks I'm your son. No, she looks well for her age as well, to be fair. She's older than me. I'm a toy boy. She's not in the 60s. I know that's exactly what people say. Right, okay, somebody just said, what's the danger zone? Well, the great thing is that we can do this during the game now. So the danger zone I'm talking about is effectively Daley Blind's the only one who can do it. So that the cross is there and it comes into there. In fact, I've done that wrong. The danger zone is there. Can I do it straight? There. Between there and there. So the way to do it is Daley Blind crossing it in there, and then Lukaku's attaching it, and the defenders facing their own goal, they've got a problem because they can't really head it that way. They're going to have to go corner or maybe put it in their own net. So that's the danger zone. Valencia can't hit it. Look, bang, bang, bang. But that's the danger zone. It's sort of between the penalty box and the edge of the 6-yard box. Keeper can't get there quick enough, and the defenders facing their own goal. Daley Blind's the one needs to do it. We don't do it enough. Rashford nearly got in there, but he's moaning that it should have been a foul. We are starting to up the tempo a bit, as predicted. Michael Ayre says that Matic has been poor so far. I don't think he has. I just think he plays the Carrick role where, you maybe don't notice what he's doing. He's running the midfield. He's covering that gap between the attack and between the midfield and the defence. When Swansea are getting it, they seem to be getting it down the flanks. That's not his area really. That's the fullbacks. Messi's followed Man City, says Wangdock. What price? I've always said if Messi leaves Barcelona, he will go to City because of the money and Pep. I think if Man City got Messi, it would be game over, and it would save Pep's career because he's built a career on Messi. Swansea on the attack here, but United can only do what United do. We can only deal with what we do. Very quiet game, says Jackson Stone. I don't think so. And Pineapple Joe said that was a fantastic tackle on Rashford. I've not seen it back yet, Pineapple, but it did look good. Jose Marino says that Matic is playing risky balls. Thanks, Jose, to be commenting when you should be watching the game. Matic has not been poor, says Tommy Herald. I don't think anyone's been poor. I think this is the Premier League. Somebody said on the live comments at the start of the game, when we were live, because we go live an hour before with the team news, somebody said the Premier League is a pub league. This first 25 minutes is the Premier League in a bottle. It's, of course we should beat Swansea. We're the better team, we're the better form team, but we're playing at Swansea, and it's their first home game of the season. It's Manchester United coming to town. Their energy levels and their passion will go up far more than they would be if it was Bournemouth at home. There's some silly tackles flying in. They're up for it. They're passionate, and that's the Premier League. It's unpredictable. If we want to win games, you've got to graft. I'm confident we will win it, and we could win it. We could still win it 3-4-0, but I think 2-0 is probably more realistic because teams will perform. I'm not surprised by Swansea. I think Swansea have played quite well. I think we're giving it as good as we got. Interesting. Anthony Kearney says we've been too pedestrian. I don't think we have. I think we've moved the ball. We've probed. We've had a couple of opportunities on the break. But you look at Mkhitaryan on the ball now. Swansea have got every single player behind the ball. You can't just play a wonder pass when everyone's got everybody behind the ball. That's a lovely little play there. That's a foul on Rashford. It's not been given. And that was from Matic threading it through. But we're going to have to be intricate. The first goal will destroy this game. For us, it'll make it very, very difficult because Swansea will go more defensive. If we get the first goal, Swansea are going to have to change their tactics, and that's when you go on and you win the game 2 or 3-0. Luis Fernandez says this is the sort of game that Fellaini needs to play. You know what? I don't necessarily disagree with you. The referee's going to do something here. He's going to have a moan at Rashford. But I don't see why Rashford's getting moaned at here by the referee when he's the victim of some silly tackles. The home crowd will love that. Nunes says the ref isn't giving Rashford anything here. Well, this is because it was a nice little bit of play and he got body checked out of it, and the ref's looking right at it. Not a good performance from the referee so far. I've seen a few silly tackles going in, and he's not pulled anybody back. Ref books Pogba for nothing. Did he book fair? I'm going to have to check that because it probably is a yellow card. But he didn't book fair. Ref's crap. The ref is crap. He's not. I think the ref's rubbish. But as I said last week, I didn't notice the ref because you don't. A good ref you shouldn't notice. But he books Pogba for his first offence, and fair nearly cut Mata in two. It's not fair. Marcus, you're way ahead of me, mate. Well done. Mad Marcus on the live comments today. It's a shame he's not on the show, but if he wants to come on, he can do. Let me know on text if you want to come on, pal. It's probably, I know why you can't, but doing a good job on the live comments as per usual. I think Marcus is on Twitter if you want a bit of his Mad Marcus ways. He does a lot of polls these days. I don't know what he is on Twitter anymore. Put your Twitter up there and I'll shout it out because you change it all the time. -1 point for Pogba in Fantasy League. We need to be careful with this referee. I think half an hour in, I'm starting to get a little bit irritated. I don't know what all you lot think. I'm starting to get a little bit irritated because I think we're allowing Swansea to rough us up. The referee's sort of being a home banker, and we need to sort of, be a little bit more mature and don't let Swansea do what they're doing. Swansea are quite irritating. They're irritating me a lot at the moment. Byron, I think he's either joking or he's got serious problems. He said take Lukaku off and bring Lingard on. John Moss is the referee. He is. He's overweight and he's rubbish. Football Bear, we've got somebody coming on in second half. Don't worry about that. And remember tonight at 8 o'clock, it's your opportunity to phone in and have your say. So there might be something in this first half an hour that's irritated you, even if we go on and win it. We want balanced views. 8 o'clock tonight, Skype in, give us your thoughts on the game. Too much passing around, says Sports HQ. Man United need to get Martial on at half time. I don't think Rashford's done anything wrong though, and that's the substitution that happens for Martial. Oh, that's a lovely turn by Rashford. There you go. World class turn. Get at him. He's got 3 players around him now. He's done well to keep hold of it. He needs to give a pass away. He's now got 4 players. Now, this is the spot. Oh, Blind had it there. He could have put it into the danger zone. And then they've got everyone behind the ball again now. Pogba, Lukaku. He did foul. Pogba needs to be careful in this game. He's on a yellow and he was late there. Well, this is where Mourinho earns his quan because I'm concerned about Pogba. He looks a bit hot-headed today, and that is not what we want to see. This referee will take great pleasure in sending him off. You could say that that's a second yellow for Pogba. He needs to be very, very careful. You know what? I'm going to be honest. I think I wouldn't. I think it'd be harsh to send him off for both for just 2 tackles, but both potentially were yellow cards. And he looks a bit pumped up today. He needs to, he's a young lad, and Matic needs to sort of have a word with him. I still think we could beat Swansea with 10 men, though. Oh, Blind. That's a shocking pass. That's like Hollywood pass that we don't need to be forcing half an hour into a game. Let that go, let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. Okay. Pogba is worrying me, says Mark Muscle. Yeah, I'd agree. He's got to be very, very careful. Tommy Harold said Moss is just looking for a break because he's fat and out of shape. That's the referee. Get the Belgian on, says Marcus Theed. And Cristiano Ronaldo has made a contribution. He says, I'm a prick. He's talking about himself, not me. This is why we need another attacking midfielder and a winger, says Tommy Free. Well, look, there's plenty of time left in this game. I didn't agree after the West Ham game when we played so well that everyone said we don't need to sign anybody. We do. It's a 38 game season, and there are still areas of the squad that need improvement. If we don't sign somebody, I think we'll be okay. But ultimately, I would like us to sign somebody just to give us a bit more squad and options. It's lovely by Pogba, that is. Oh, go on. Keeper smashed at that. It's not going to go for a throw. Well in by Valencia. That's gone for a throw. I'll tell you what, Swansea are up for it though. There's a fight going on. Rashford making Swansea look like idiots when defending, says it's Frotzy. He has, it's just the final ball, not just from Rashford. It's just like we get into good positions and then we give the ball away. I'm worried about Pogba. I think he's got red card all over him at the moment, to be honest. There's a pass there, Mata. It's gone now. It's just like when we're getting into the final third, it's very easy for Swansea. It's like we're trying to play the perfect sort of 1-2 or the perfect pass. I think what we need to do is just try and, you know, use the flanks. We don't use the flanks enough and put some crosses into the box. Here's Rashford. He's going to get closed down. That's a foul. Oh, ref. Go on, Jones. Put the tackle in. Swansea on the break here with Ayew. Good defending by Bailly, and Jones puts it out for a corner. You see, they're on the break. They're on the break. Everything's going down the middle at the moment, though, which is making it way too easy for Swansea to defend, I feel. And these sort of opportunities from a corner. Bailly just went down on the floor then, because Bartley's massive compared to Bailly. Ooh, and he did get up. He's massive, that Bartley lad. What are we thoughts then? Numes says smash him, Bailly. Swansea have parked the bus, says Shea Costello. Well, can you blame them? Can you blame them? The worrying thing is that we haven't really had any good chances in this first 35 minutes. And you could almost predict worst case scenario, couldn't you? That we would, after such a good performance last week, we would struggle to create anything in the first half. But Herrera on at half time, says Kieran Colbeck. If we're bringing Herrera on, it would have to be for Pogba, and I don't see Mourinho ever taking Pogba off. I think he'll gamble on the fact that he won't get a second yellow, but I am concerned about that, because unless we get the goal. There's a good cross by Blind, exactly what you want. Wasn't quite into the danger zone, but it wasn't far off, and it was that natural cross, and Lukaku nearly got up for it. That's what we need to work. We need to work Blind into opportunities to put the cross in. Tom Gerrard, please stop putting the same question up. I'll answer it just because it's coming to my eye line. Griezmann and Zlatan in January? No, it's not going to happen. We are not getting Griezmann in January, and I think people really need to wake up to the fact that those sort of signings don't happen in January. He'll be in the Champions League for Atletico Madrid. He's not going to sign for us in January. Probably next summer, if it's going to happen at all. So, it could be a 0-0 at half-time, but we're not at Old Trafford, so we don't need to worry about 0-0 at half-time. Rashford's in here. It's a mistake by Swansea. Please score. Rubbish finish. Chipped it straight at the keeper. That is the final ball problem for Rashford. A Welbeck moment. He's got plenty of time there, but it's rubbish. think Martial would have buried it, to be honest. From everybody who's saying that, but Martial is the better finisher. Rashford needs to work on it. He's got absolutely everything in his game, but his final ball, as last season, I think it is getting better. He needs to work on it, but trying to chip him. It was Welbeck-esque. We're 17th in the Premier League for shot conversion chances, actually. I presume that's only based on 2 games, though. Lukaku scores that. Well, Lukaku would have scored it, yeah, because it actually was off his left side. But I think Rashford's played well. But then again, you do have to be judged on taking your chances. And he should have scored that. But I think he's played well. He's not getting anything from the referee. As we approach half-time, I'd say Swansea have been competitive, tenacious. We've fought back with them, but the quality's not come through yet. And I think that's what I would say if I was Mourinho, is look, get your heads together a bit. Stop getting pulled into a battle that Swansea want, because when it's a battle, it's not about technique. Keep fighting, but let's get our heads a bit. Let's start to get our foot on the ball and use the ball a bit more wisely. Stop trying to go through the middle all the time. And that Bartley is a threat. He's massive. We need to stop giving silly free kicks away in corners. But yeah, we need to... The quality needs to start coming out in this game, and I'm still confident that it can do. These games only start to go wrong when you concede the first goal. So we're still very much in the game. Performances-wise, certainly not up to the standard of West Ham collectively. It's physical, and I don't really feel that people like Mkhitaryan have got into the game as much as I would like. I think Lukaku is getting a bit exposed up front, which is surprising when we're not playing a midfield 3. To be honest with you, maybe Herrera would be an option. Take off Mata or Mkhitaryan and get a bit more bite into the midfield. That extra attacking option, we've not really caused Swansea any problems. I don't think we're using the width anywhere near enough again. And it's quite a frustrating game in a way. Quite a frustrating... Well, like Eric says, when it's a battle, you battle. And I'm just wondering whether getting Herrera on the pitch would take some of the battling work away from Pogba, because we don't want Pogba to get sent off, and sort of free Pogba up a little bit and let Matic and Herrera do the work, and then maybe get a bit of width with Rashford and Martial and Lukaku up front. That might be an option in the second half, because I'm not convinced that Mata and Mkhitaryan are really working that well, in the way that they're not really giving us that impetus in attack. For the extra attacker, I'd expect a little bit more. Rashford, I think Rashford's done well. Got a free kick here. Having said that, good chance for Swansea in the first few minutes, and also one for for Jones. If he doesn't shoulder it, I think we would have been 1-0 up ourselves. Luke says, "What would you do if you brought Fellaini on for Pogba at half time?" Well, if we win the game, don't we? It's certainly not a move I would do. I suppose it's one we need to be prepared for, because it is a physical game, and maybe you'll see Fellaini as that. But also, I don't think Fellaini... I think if you bring Fellaini on, then you're going to lose the speed of movement around the ball, and I think that is quality, and I do feel that quality will out. Now, here's Blind, doesn't beat the first man with the cross. He's got the best cross in the game. He's got to get that in there, because he's in that position to do it. A goal before half-time would be brilliant. We've had 2 good chances, Anaban, I would agree. Phil Jones and obviously Rashford's one-on-one. He needs to put that away in the Premier League. Hell March says Fellaini's a better finisher than Rashford. I don't think he is. I don't think Fellaini's a natural finisher either. John Michael O says changes are needed to win this game. I don't expect changes at half time unless it's the Herrera one. I think Mourinho would agree, like many of us, that we probably do need to be looking at changes, but I don't think he's a half time changer. I've got a corner here. You never know, Eric Bailly might score like I thought he would. We could, somebody just said, will we hit 30,000 subscribers on the watch along? We are 129,437. So if you are new to the United Stand, click that subscribe button, bottom right hand corner. We might do it today. Keep mentioning it, and you never know. We'd have to go some, but stranger things have happened. Remember, we're not just about watch-alongs. We're live every night at 8 o'clock, and we've got the transfer shows weekday mornings every morning, and we do react to any United news. Keeper's missed it, and Mata puts it wide, but I don't know whether he's given a corner or a free kick or a goal kick. A goal kick. A bit scrappy, but Mata was close, says Maestro. Probably was a foul by Pogba on the keeper, to be fair. I think if that was on De Gea, I would have said. Not even a half chance. Spencer Wilson says Pogba needs to come off. Aaron Gage, can we win the league? Well, it's a bit of an odd question. I think anybody can say they can win the league. Marion Fellaini, thanks for the contribution. Can't do much from the bench, so I'll just watch United Stand on my phone. Imagine if it really was. Jeff Hepner, can you donate from the US? I presume you can, because it's a dollar emoji at the bottom of the live comments. So I presume that you can. I know you've timed him out, Marcus. I blocked him. I get bored of it, to be honest. I should have timed out, but I think I clicked the wrong button. But those sort of comments just bore me. Dave B says, Mark, are you awake or dreaming? Pogba's been very poor. Have I said that Pogba's been bad? I said that I would be considering taking Pogba off just for the yellow card. What a good header that was by the Swansea centre-back. Chip of a cross by Lukaku to the back post, and Lukaku's coming in on it. Pogba crossed it, sorry. Lukaku's coming in on it, and back of his head headed it away. Good defending. But I think we are playing to this Swansea defence's strengths, really. They are tall, they are strong, but they're not quick. But because they're playing so deep. Jared Pesserman says, I think he's going to bring on Fellaini for Mata for height. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, mate. Just because of the way Swansea are playing. Oh, good cross by Pogba again there. And Blind's coming up on the back stick, and they have to defend it. So, corner for United. As we approach half-time, can we score a corner? It'd be nice to score a corner. Here comes the corner. Yes! Come on! I think it might be Bailly. I said Bailly to score. It might have been in anyway from Pogba. I did say Bailly to score. If you put the bet on, well done. But I don't know whether it is Bailly who scores yet, right before half-time. That will change the game. That will change the game for Swansea and the plan. Goal! Soccer goal. Lovely. From a corner as well. Cross comes in. Pogba heads it. It's not Pogba's goal. It's Bailly's goal. Come on. Pogba heads it. Keeper palms it up onto the crossbar. Bounces on the line. Bailly's there like a rocket. Get in, lad. Get in, lad. Come on. That's exactly what we needed. Tough games away from home. Tough games away from home. And we've finally broken them down right on half-time as well. I said Bailly, didn't I? I did. I just had a funny feeling that Bailly would score today. I wish I'd put the bet on. He was 12-1. If anybody did, I bet nobody did. I bet they were all thinking no chance. But I spot on. Absolutely brilliant. I'm getting a lot right this year, whether it's team predictions or whatever. But the golden touch. The golden touch. And that Mourinho will be ecstatic. And I did say a couple of minutes ago, if we could just get a goal before half-time, it will change the complexion for Swansea, because they can't sit deep now. Well, please do. Please do sit deep. I retract that. Please do sit deep, because we'll win this game. They're going to have to come out now, and the game changes. The game changes on a goal. Lovely, lovely stuff. Very, very happy with that. Deserved or not? Well, on the balance of play, arguable, but in relation to what the game is, we're fighting, and this is what you've got to do away from home. In some ways, I prefer this to being 4 or 5-0 up at half time, because it's a challenge. It's a challenge, isn't it? Oh, lovely stuff. And we're at half time now as well. Let me get the timer off, and oh, just lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. 1-0 Manchester United right on half time, and yeah, really, really pleased with that. Really, really pleased, because it's been a grafting game, and I've not, fair play to Swansea. They have made us graft, but I find they were annoying me. So to get that goal right on half time is really, really rewarding. Ross, I think I've got you with me.
Hey.
How you doing,
How
pal?
you doing, mate? Right.
Yeah, good.
Good, yourself? Fantastic. Yeah, do you know, just firstly, I need to ask you a question, because I've just seen on Twitter a few tweets saying, Mark Goldbridge, you are a genius, and I don't know what it's about.
Oh, I said I had a funny feeling Eric Bailly would score.
Oh, really? And then he scored. Fantastic.
12-1 he was. I only had it in half an hour before the game, so obviously I'm live, so I couldn't put the bet on. 12-1 he was, so it's double-edged sword, really. But I know I had a funny feeling. I don't know why. You sometimes get a hunch, don't you? So.
Yeah, well, do you know what? I'm pleased we got that goal, to be honest. I was starting to see a little bit of negativity creep through on Twitter, which I was... Again, do you know what? It was similar to the first half hour of West Ham, to be honest. We didn't blow West Ham away, and we didn't blow Swansea away. But again, if we're 1-0 up at half time, that's all that matters to me. And yeah, Bay's first goal. It's good to see Pogba do something, because he had a bit of a shocking half, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I would be looking to potentially maybe take him off. It depends how much trust Mourinho's got in him to keep his cool. But he literally has to do one more foul, and I think he's going. And the crowd are already on his back. I can't work out why Rashford's getting booed. I have no clue as to why they're booing him.
It was for a dive last season, apparently.
Oh, was it? Oh, they go stuff themselves. Yeah, overall, I'm pleased, mate. It's 1-0, and it's all you can ask for. Yeah, good half.
Yeah, and I know it's very early in the season, but things are sort of happening that in the textbook of perfect football. Martial last 10 minutes, brilliant last week. Goal right on half time after Swansea would have gone in at half time. We've both played football. You go in at half time and say, you know what, we're grafting, we're competitive. If we keep like this, we might nick a goal or we might get a point. That will deflate them, because they've worked hard. They have worked hard. They have been irritating. They were irritating me and a lot of people on the live comments. The ref, they've got the ref on side. They go in at 0-0. They were encouraged. They go in now 1-0 down. They can't play like that in the second half. They can't sit back, because they'll lose the game, and they're the home team, so the crowd won't like that. And they know full well that now, as they try to be more expansive, United will probably pick them off. So yeah, I just think the first goal, I know it's obvious, but that goal changes the game, because now Swansea can't do what they were doing in the first half.
Definitely. And do you know what? So many times last season, I used to use our attacking corners as a point where I'd go to the toilet or something like that, because you knew nothing was happening. And we showed signs, obviously we scored a free kick last week, but we showed signs that we're back at corners. And do you know what? I've watched a lot of, because there's a lot of United hype, there's been so much replays of old games under Fergie, and the amount of goals we scored from corners was unreal. It was our go-to thing, and we need that back. You need to score corners. You need to win sloppy goals like that to win the league, and it's good. That's in our game again, and that's testament to Jose and his signings, because all he is just buying 6'5" beasts. But I quite like it, and again, it just showed power. I mean, what a header from Pogba, hits the bar again. It's ridiculous, but
he's in love with the bar.
For it. He loves it. I saw a really funny meme on Twitter after Phil Jones hit the bar, which was, hello crossbar, my old friend, which is so true. We just have a habit of hitting it, but who cares? Again, 1-0 half time, chuffed with it.
Hey, in fairness to Phil Jones, I think if he heads that, it's 1-0. It hit his shoulder. He just didn't connect with it right. He probably should have done better. The Rashford chance. I thought Rashford. Look, a lot of people. Well, not a lot. There was a few people getting on Rashford's case. I always asked who my favourite players at United are, and they are Rashford and Martial, and it's not a coincidence why. I think it's interesting that my two favourite players are sort of battling each other this year. But it's because they're our two best flair players. They make things happen in the way that gets me off the seat. It's exciting. And I think Rashford did a lot, much like the West Ham game, he's done a lot good and a lot exciting. But his thing that lets him down a little bit, and Mohamed just made a contribution, thanks to Mohamed, saying Martial on for Rashford, poor finishing. The thing that lets Rashford down, and he's still only 19 and he will improve, is final ball. And he did do a very good impression of Danny Welbeck in this game, 1-1, trying to chip the keeper badly.
Yeah, Rashford, it's one thing that he can develop on is his finishing, but for me, he is a very poor finisher. And even the goals he does score, they're not when Martial finishes a goal, it's just clean, you know where he's going to put it, and it's precise. Rashford's one seemed to go through the keeper's legs, or he just gets a bit lucky with it, and it's come apparent that he really can't finish. You just wish you had the chances that Rashford gets on the end of Martial, but Martial doesn't get the amount of chances Rashford gets, because Rashford works really hard to get them chances, and he anticipates so well. So, but he's so young, he's only 19, he'll get that finishing touch to him. But I just don't. I think people think that if Martial was on, we'd be 1-0 up already. But no, Martial doesn't get them chances. He's a different type of player. He creates more, but he doesn't get on the end of them. So it's, yeah, I'd agree with you, Mark. Rashford and Martial, they're exciting, and just like you, I like the fact that they're fighting it out. Rashford didn't have the best half, but he probably all the best moments in a red shirt did come through him. It's just a shame that today he didn't look like he's got that finishing product. But the thing is with Rashford that I do love is he doesn't shy away from it. He's not going to not make them runs now. If he plays the second half, he'll get chance after chance after chance because he works at it, and he doesn't get his own head down when he misses something like that, which is a good testament to his attitude, I think.
Yeah, I just want to give Daley Blind a bit of a shout out as well, because he took the corner. Bad defending by Swansea, if I'm honest, on Pogba. I've just seen that Pogba second foul that Sky is sort of like saying, should he be sent off? The first foul probably was a yellow card, but Fair had done a foul on Mata worse than that, didn't get a yellow card. The second foul, he doesn't make contact, so he shouldn't have been sent off, end of the story, and it would have been a bit harsh anyway. But the Blind took the corner. Pogba unmarked, heads it. I just want to give Bay a shout out. Obviously I had a funny feeling he would score today, but also that's not a goal from Pogba. It's a tip onto the bar and it hits the line. We've got the technology now, it's not a goal. If Bay isn't alive to that, and there is a Swansea defender as well, he runs through a brick wall to make sure he is there to finish that goal. Them sort of players over a season, this game could end 1-0. That is brilliant from Bay, because it's anticipation and it's fight to make sure that ball goes in the back of the net. Ross, I'm just going to take a quick toilet break if I can. Give us your thoughts on the second half, specifically about, would you make any substitutions? A lot of people were saying Pogba is a risk. Why make that risk of a second yellow and going down to 10 men? You could get Herrera on. I suppose you flip it the other way. Pogba actually had a good last 5 minutes to the half and effectively got an assist with that goal. I think I've got Eric Bailly in my fantasy football team. I've just remembered as well. Great. But people were talking about Fellaini. Obviously Martial. What would you expect in the second half? What would you be looking to do?
Do you know what? I think we'd all agree, all the guys and girls watching, that Martial's going to come on at some point. I'd probably bring him on slightly earlier than he come on against West Ham, looking probably about the 60-minute mark. Bring him on, and he'll terrorise their back four. Pogba's a difficult one. I don't think he will come off. It depends again how much of a risk taker you are. I wouldn't be such a risk taker, and I'd take him off and put Herrera on. But the risk taker would keep him on because he will create more chances than Herrera would. So potentially I'd look at keeping him on again for sort of the 60-minute mark and see if we can get an early goal. If we get an early goal and it's 2-0, he comes off for me because his job's done, and there's no point, because even at 2-0, if he gets sent off, suddenly they're back in the game. So keep him on, see if we can get an early goal, and that's just the way I'll do it, to be honest. But apart from that, I don't think... For once, I'm seeing a back four with United. It just doesn't need to be changed. I used to be looking at a potential like Luke Shaw or someone's come on, but the back four stays as it is for me, which is fantastic. And it's kind of like that all over the pitch. You're not going to change Matic. You're not going to change Mkhitaryan. You could potentially call for Mata to come off, but again, he just pops up in good areas and unsettles their defence. So they would be the only two changes for me. Martial on and potentially Herrera, but it just depends how the game goes. If it stays 1-0, you may want to keep Pogba on. But again, there's a risk if they break. And Pogba's, chasing back. He can't put that challenge in, which could affect us because sometimes you need to take a booking.
I wouldn't like to be in that position against Swansea, to be honest. With Pogba gets sent off, he brings a defender on, and we park the bus because that Bartley's massive. I mean, he made Bay look small, and the one thing I think Swansea would like to do is to sort of we won't do it unless we go down to 10 men. Is sort of try and park the bus ourselves. Because you can see that Swansea, that is their best chance, sort of crosses into our box because they've got quite a few tall, combative players. So, yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't know what you went 3-0. I can see that happening. I'd be quite happy with 2-0, get another goal, grind a result out, because I think that's the perfect contrast to last week where we blitzed somebody. To actually go away from home and work hard and get a result, I think it's all about getting as many different experiences as you can early in the season to stand you in good stead.
Yeah, I'd be happy with 2-0, 3-0, 1-0, 2-1, anything. As long as it's 3 points, I'd be happy. Also, I've got to say, I'm very superstitious, and I've got to give a shout out to my girlfriend because before the game last week, I had a Guinness, and I said to myself, I'm going to have a Guinness before this game, but I didn't actually have any, and she went out halfway through that first half, and I poured a Guinness for myself about 30 seconds before the goal. So, yeah, big shout out to Guinness.
I nearly called it the Amber Nectar, but I think that's Foster's. But no,
yeah,
well, you're going to be on the Guinness a lot this season, then hopefully.
Hopefully we'll every week.
maybe Guinness would like to sponsor the United Stand. I like a good Guinness as well. But well, thanks for joining us, Ross. You can follow Ross.
Cheers,
it's at Hazza90, isn't it?
That's the one, mate.
You coming on tomorrow night, Sunday?
Yeah, I'll be on, mate.
Okay, well, Ross will be back with us tomorrow night at 8 o'clock for the Sunday night show, and hopefully we can get this result done. Thanks for coming on, pal.
Yeah. Cheers, mate. Catch you later.
See you in a bit. Yeah, look, we're halfway there. Let's hope we can get it won. And I see no reason why we can't, but football's weird. I think Swansea's chance was to get ahead in this game. I think now we're ahead. The referees are concerned. Pogba's second yellow is a concern, but realistically, we should get this. We should get this done. A few people asking about United Stand t-shirts. The link is in the video description. They're available through Amazon. Link is in the video description. Only available to UK and US. There's a link for UK and there's a link for the US. But it is done through Amazon, and Amazon do the t-shirts for us, so they are a decent quality. Lots of good feedback on those people who have got them. Available in 5 colours, available in kids and women's sizes. So I forget to shout them out a lot, but I wear it a lot because it's a nice t-shirt. Link in the video description. And also remember, if you're a bit of a gambler, you fancy a little bet on the football, Lukaku to score at any time is still good odds. In fact, I think it's gone over. Let's have a quick look. How do I do it? Why is it not working? Let me have a quick look. Lukaku to... Oh, come on. Do this to me. Oh, okay. Swansea, Manchester United. Click on that. It's been asked what you can get Lukaku to score at any time. So you can get Lukaku next goal scorer at 1.95, which is basically double your money. Link in the video description for that. It's through 10bet, and remember, if you do sign up through 10bet, through that link in the video description, and you put your bets on with them for this month, up to a value of £15, so 3 £5 bets, you'll go in a draw on August 31st to win 1 of 5 Manchester United shirts, and if you do win, you can choose red, black, or boring grey. It's up to you. I'd go with the black, to be honest. The red's nice, but I like the black one. So link in the video description for that. Remember, you've got to be over 18 and do gamble responsibly. But I wish I'd said Bay to score at any time, which was 12-1. I did say it. I didn't put the bet on it. Oh, God. Why has it closed that down? My timer thing's not working. Right, okay. Refresh. Start. It should work now. Right, we're up and running. No, we're not. Why are you not working? Let me get it working for you. 15. The game is started. The second half has started. And we have not made any changes, which I would not have expected us to do that anyway. The wind will be taken from the proverbial Swansea sails because they were playing very defensive. They cannot continue to do that now. Their game plan is going to have to change. They are going to have to be more expansive. Maybe not in the first 20 minutes. Maybe they'll just try and see if they can create an opportunity with the way they have been playing. But certainly in the last 20 minutes, they'll have to be more expansive. And I think that that's when we'll see Martial. JPG says, love the show, watching the match on NBC Sports here in Massachusetts. Get the time on, Mark, says Luca. I've got it. Keep subscribing, said somebody up there. Thanks for that comment, Rick and Morty. Can I have a shout out, says Stex FC Stebbing. Well, you've just had it. And it's Martial time, says JDub702. Buying GF, buy, literally buy. And any subs, suck my... I can't say your username because it's rude, but there's not been any subs for Manchester United, no. We are 450 subscribers off 130,000. If we do it today, fantastic. But thanks for everybody who is new to the channel and getting involved. Make sure you don't just watch watch-alongs. You watch tonight at 8 o'clock when we've got Skype open for you lot to call in and have your say on the game. And yeah, if you are new and you found us, the subscribe icon is our icon in the bottom right-hand corner. Make sure you click that bell so we are a live content channel and you'll get a notification every time we go live, which effectively is 8 o'clock every night and 7 o'clock in the morning weekdays for transfer news. But lots of daily content on the United Stand and always interactive, getting your views and interacting with you. That's what it's all about. Matthew says, for Christmas, I'm asking for a United Stand white t-shirt. There you go. Well, the link's in the video description. We'll put that permanently in there because I sometimes forget to put it in. And they are available exclusively through Amazon. Mickey should get a goal, says Wan Weiss. Mark, do you think a 3... I've answered that. Shaka, why do you always right. You always ask questions the same and it's been answered. Not been any chances yet, Katie Graham. Do I think Lindelof will make his debut today, Cato Ellis? I wouldn't see the point in bringing Lindelof in a game when you're only winning 1-0. Keep the defence as it is. But Swansea's approach to the game is quite interesting. They are going 2 for 2 up front on Bailly and Jones. So they're going to have to be on their mettle. But I wouldn't imagine Lindelof coming on in this game, to be honest. Lynn says, hi Mark from Crete. And she'd love a shout out. Lynn Hall. She's still in Crete. She was there last week. She must be there for 2 weeks. Hope you're enjoying your break, Lynn. I've been with the channel a long time in the live comments. So enjoy the break and hopefully United can make you enjoy the rest of your day and get this game won. I went with 2-0. Get the second goal and I think we'll be well on the way. Mistake there. Lukaku's in behind. He'll let it go for a corner, I think. And he has. So another corner for United. We've scored from a corner. And it's only in the second game of the season so far. So good start in relation to that corner voodoo as well. We've got so many good players with height as well that we do need to do better from corners. You got Matic, Pogba, Bailly, Lukaku. We need to be better from corners. And Mourinho's always been a manager that's good with corners. You think of John Terry at Chelsea. So we do need to be better at that. And we have. We scored from a corner. It'll flip into Mata. He's onside, but he's always going to come on his left foot. And another corner. So we're pushing him back a bit here. It's 10:40 in Australia, says Amos Roon. That's not a bad time to be watching it. It's not the half-time break, Cheese. That's why the timer is up and running and we're 1-0 up. Okay, nothing came of that corner for United. I've just realised something. 1 minute. You get lost in a moment, but it's United at the moment who are 5 minutes in, and we are sort of pressing Swansea, trying to get that second goal. You never know, it could go the same way. Could go the same way as it did against West Ham. I'd like to see that happen. Free kick against Swansea there. Don't upset the Swans faithful. Hello Xander, can you hear me?
I can do, Mark. How are you?
Good, thanks. You?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. I thought first half was a bit disappointing, but we're 1-0 ahead. So, yeah, all in all, it's good. It's a good first half.
Yeah, I thought we were in there. We're sort of pegging Swansea in here. Pegging, if people know what pegging is. We are pegging them in at the moment into their own half, and they're not enjoying it. But Pogba, not a great cross there. We really have got them in their own box at the moment, and I just hope we can get that second goal and kill this game off, because I agree. I think the first half, didn't surprise me. It's the Premier League. The Premier League is combative and competitive. I hoped that the quality... the quality would sort of come through, and I suppose it did in a way. Certainly, the quality of Bay shone through. The ability the passion to go and get that ball was great. And
well, that's Bay for you, isn't it? He's a bundle of passion. He gives everything always. So it's good to see him get on the score sheet. I think that's his first goal for United. One thing I will say though, Swansea at some point will have to try and get something from the game, if they want to get anything from the game. So I say, keep putting pressure on, keep the ball, and at some point they'll open up and we can pounce on that.
Here's Rashford running at their back foot. I can see Rashford coming off for Martial at some point. I think Rashford's been full of endeavour, but it's not quite worked for him with the final ball.
Well, it's not only a trait of this game. That's Rashford all over for you. Hard work. Shows a lot of potential, but no final ball, and that hasn't changed. That we know that about Rashford. So I think I say, look, I wouldn't start him next game. I think that chance that he was emulating Danny Welbeck with, that put him out for the next game. Say, look, mate, work on your final ball, and then we'll start seeing what happens. Because if he keeps doing that and putting those chances, not putting those chances away, that's going to create a real problem for us. We need someone that can just finish those.
Yeah, well, I think Martial is the better finisher, to be honest with you. But I'm sure if he keeps up his quality levels, he will start games for United. There's no reason not to. I think it really is between Martial and Rashford at the moment, unless we change formation. I don't really have a problem with the team that he started. It's a winning team. But, Herrera's sat on the bench. I think Herrera's an important player for United still. So, but you can only pick 11. And as I said, if we can come out of this game with a 1-0 win, I'd certainly take it.
I'd take it, but it's more the performance I'm looking for. I'm looking to. I know results are everything essentially, but I do want to see United put in good performances. I think last year we would have taken scruffy results, and we just wanted to. It was a building block, and now this season I think we really need to see Mourinho's team perform and play some entertaining football.
Yeah, but having said that, we won't be able to do that for 38 games of the season. We will have to grind out results, and I think having a game early in the season where you've got to grind out a result again is as important as beating somebody 4-0, because it gives you that confidence that you can go to difficult teams like Swansea have been difficult today. They have been very physical. The crowd's got on the ref. The ref's not been that good, and yet we're still 1-0 up, and a lot of confidence to take from that. I agree with you. When it's at Old Trafford, we need to see more games like West Ham, and hopefully we'll see that against Leicester. There's good switch of the play there to Rashford. Now, what can he do on the edge of the box? Shoot straight at the keeper. He had options there. That is the thing. He's wearing number 19. He is 19. This, for a 19-year-old to be playing week in week out for United is fantastic. But he does need to work on the final ball, whether it's a shot, the cross, the pass. Sometimes he holds on to the ball too much, and that is the area that Rashford needs to work on. And there's no problem with him having to work on that. He's a young lad. As Phil Jones has gone down, he's up. Not injured yet. He will be at some point.
Not yet. Yeah, not yet.
Danny Taft says he thinks it will be a draw. I hope not.
No, me neither. But what I will say though is, I know what you mean about the grinding the result out, but my question would be, should we have to grind results out against... Have you seen this Swansea team? Let's be honest. I think that's championship level. It is honestly dire. So I think my argument would be, we should be blitzing these teams. But I do understand, look, it's Swansea away. It's their first home game, And I completely take your point. It's just... I think maybe if we win today, it might be papering over the cracks a little bit.
I think you've just got to take every Premier League game as every Premier League game. It's 90 minutes, and if you come out of it with a win, you come out of it with a win. And we're not going to know how good United are till we play somebody decent anyway. And we won the first 3 games of last season, and we finished 6th. So if we win this game today, and I hope we do, and then if we beat Leicester at home before the international break, we're in the same position as last year with 9 points. I won't be going on about, oh yeah, we've sorted all our problems out, because we did it last year and we finished 6th. We've just got to take every game as it comes. And hopefully we can win more than we lose. And then when we play somebody that we consider to be a good opposition, we'll see how good Manchester United are.
Yeah, I hate to, back up Marcus and his quotes, but I'd agree with that.
Well, what's he said?
Well, he's doing those polls. And he put on Twitter that I always say, yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah, I'd agree with that. But I do agree with that.
Rashford is ruining every attack, says Davo K. Come on, United, says Smith Katanga. 222 Damien says Rashford's not making correct choices. Hopefully that will come with experience and age and guidance. I think he wants to do too much. It's a passion, he loves playing for United. And I think, Ronaldo used to be the same, doing too much.
Exactly what I was going to say.
So it's just he needs to work on it, but at the moment the jersey, the starting shirt's his. I'm sure we will see Martial for Rashford at some point. It's the logical sub to make, because whether Rashford's playing well or not, and that's a personal choice for all of you lot, it's not quite worked for him today, whether it's frustration with the ref not giving him decisions, or that he should have had, to be fair, or whether it's that the Welbeck chance that he Welbecked. His final ball's not been that good, but you never know. In the next 10 minutes, it might all click together and he'll score a goal that takes the game away from Swansea. So he's certainly been one of our bigger threats. It's just final ball, it's not quite worked, but the pace and flair is very important.
What I will say though, Mark, and I'd like to get your opinion on this as well. I think Pogba's had an absolutely dreadful game. Maybe in the last 5 minutes of that first half, he showed, he essentially got an assist. But I think he's had one of his worst games in a United shirt, in my opinion. And I think if you take him off for Herrera, you lose a lot of creativity, and the potential to create chances is essentially taken away from you. So I think Pereira on for Pogba. I know he's not on the bench, but that would be an ideal substitution, and it worries me that he isn't on the bench. He wasn't last game, so I'd be worried again. He's not on the substitutes bench again today.
Yeah, just quickly, Phil Jones needs to do a lot better there. He's got a player out on the touchline, and he allows him to put a very good cross in, but I think it was Bay yet again defending it. He won't take Pogba off. I mean, I was concerned about Pogba at one point. There's a good chance there. Unmarked Abraham, and he puts it over the bar. I need to be careful. That's poor defending on two phases of play. One from Jones letting the cross in, and then this one here from Matic and Jones not communicating, and he's on the penalty spot, near the penalty spot, just over the bar. You need to defend better there, United. What was the question?
About I was talking about I think the ideal substitution would be Pereira for Pogba and that.
Yeah, I mean he won't take Pogba off. I was concerned about him, but maybe at half time he's had the chat. I agree Pogba didn't play very well, but having said that, the 4 or 5 minutes before half time he put 2 really good crosses in. Then he had the header that hit the bar that Bailly followed through. That's why Paul Pogba plays for Manchester United, because even when he has a bad game, he's got that. His game has got so many facets to it. Yeah. It's like if Mata has a bad game, he's a small player who's not really that physical. If Pogba has a bad game, he's still a quick, powerful player who can win a header from a corner and get us a goal. And that, Pogba is many, many things. And to take him off is a real, he'd have to be pretty bad, I think.
Yeah, and Mourinho said it. He is one of the leaders in the team. So if like you say, if we have to grind out this result and it doesn't come easily, then having Paul Pogba on the pitch would be a massive help to us.
Corner for United here, hour into the game. It's sort of still United on top, but Swansea had a good couple of chances there. The second goal, obvious, we need it. But just Danny saying we've got a corner, come on, and we never used to say that, and it is from the Daily Blind side, so if he can put a delivery in... Oh, no, Fellaini's just ran past him warming up. That's a worry. Another corner won, though. I think it was Matic that time. It's come to Mata. Can't quite... I mean, Lukaku's not really had much of a sniff today. That's a bit of a concern, because that was my bet, was for him to score at any time.
Yeah, well, to be fair, though, Swansea have shut up shop and have put 10 men behind the ball. And so there isn't much space for Lukaku to run into, which is what he does best. So that might be why.
Yeah, Swansea actually haven't changed their tactics much. I thought, they're still playing very deep when we get the ball. They're going to have to change that because they're losing 1-0 and the home crowd will demand it, which is good for us because it should leave some space. I mean, we took West Ham apart, didn't we, in the last 10 to 15 minutes and got 2 goals. So the important thing is not to let Swansea get a goal, and good defending from there from Phil Jones. Be nice to get another clean sheet as well.
Yeah, and like you, Mark, I've got Bay in my fancy Premier League team, so that's good.
Yeah, I've got De Gea as well.
I think I've got from United. I've got Mkhitaryan, Lukaku, and Pogba. I think Mkhitaryan always pops up with an assist, doesn't he? So I thought that would help.
Yeah, to be honest, I've had a few lean years with United players because they tend to let you down. But this season, I have got Lukaku, and I expect him to get me a lot of points. Not many assist points though. His build-up play is pretty tragic, but goals for sure. Although
Mourinho seems to insist it is quite good. Mourinho's talked many a times about he does great for the team. Not only is he thinking about himself, but he does brilliant for everyone else. But
I think it will improve as well. I mean, Scholes said it. We've all said it. Lukaku. When you think of Lukaku at Everton, his build-up play and first touch. I know there are collections of videos about it. It's no secret his first touch is a bit bad, but at a club like United and the players that we have, he will have to improve that, and he will improve it because he's going to be playing with players who want to hit him with a ball, and they want him to lay it off or play a quick one touch, and that, you know, maybe at Everton and other clubs he hasn't had that pressure, but he will improve on that.
But that won't happen overnight. That's going to take, you know, maybe a year to fully do, you know. So, and I'm sure Mourinho will do that.
See, the ball, he's got the ball into his feet there on the edge of the box. He's got to make it stick sometimes, because he's got players doing little intricate passes around him, and it's got to stick.
That's one thing that is it Tammy Abraham has done well for Swansea a few times. It's got up to him, he's held it up and laid it off, and really got them up the field. So if that attribute was in Lukaku, you'd have a far more, you know, superior player than we already have now.
Yeah, I mean, we sometimes do have a minute or so, if we're lucky, in a game to sort of speak about the opposition, and I think Swansea have been very, you know, workmanlike, and they do move the ball quite well. I mean, they've always been quite a decent team at moving the ball around. And I think in that Tammy Abraham, I'm not too sure how old he is. I'm tempted to say 19, but it's another good cross there from Swansea. He looks like a striker to me that if he was able to bulk out, he's got a hell of a career ahead of him, because he is quick, he has got a good touch on him, and if he added that power to it, he's only on loan from Chelsea. I mean, he'll have to move from Chelsea because they don't promote youth, but he has done well. Double substitution coming from Swansea here. Be interesting to see who they take off. I'd be surprised if they took off Abraham. But 65 minutes, United probably looking at substitutions themselves, I would hope. I still think it will be Fellaini coming on at some point. What are your thoughts, Sander? Would you be making changes, and who would you be looking at?
I'd probably take. I'd put Rashford on the right and take Mata off, and put Martial on the left. I think Rashford, that kind of determination we'll still need, and don't think Mata's had the best of games. So I think Martial on the left, Rashford on the right, Lukaku up front, Mkhitaryan in behind, and then Pogba and Matic, and keep it the same from there.
Well, Swansea made a double substitution, a little bit more attacking with 20 minutes to go, which is what I said at half-time. They probably would go a bit more expansive. They are losing. We haven't really got close to getting that second goal, but I'm sure opportunities are going to happen probably for both teams now, so we just need to make sure that when we do get that chance, we take it.
Yeah, like you say, it's game by game, isn't it? You know, win this game, we're on to the next game, win that game, and just keep that mentality. See them through. The only disappointing thing is, I don't think we've played fantastic today. And if you look forward to the game all week, and United put in a poor performance but still get the result, it's a bit frustrating. But look, 3 points is the most important, like you say.
That's what it's all about, fan opinion. Because I totally disagree. I'll be more than happy if this game ends now and we win it, because it's 3 points. But I know, I totally accept that some people want the full package, and that's all. That's what fan opinion is all about, like I say. But actually, I would have took this as it is right now, and very happily go and enjoy the rest of my weekend and build from it, because it's that's the Premier League. It is a competitive league. I know it's very realistic that United could have come here and won 4 or 5-0 today, but also on the same hand, I think it's also realistic that we could have to battle out a 1-0, and I don't think we are the complete package anyway. I never really got massively. I really enjoyed the West Ham result, but I still think we may be 1, maybe 2 players away from having a squad that's going to really take us up to the levels we want to be. I still think we can do it with the squad that we've got, and it's a very, very difficult transfer market. But I would like, I look at Rashford and I think, look, if Rashford's playing ahead of Martial and they're sharing that role all season, I look at Rashford and he does still have massive issues in relation to the final ball. If you could replace Rashford for somebody like Perisic, who's an experienced, consistent player, then I would still prefer that. I think experience is the thing. I mean, look at what Matic is. I wasn't sure about Matic. There's no point going over old ground about that. But what he has brought to United with his experience is effectively what we had with Carrick for 10 years. That stability, that experience in that very important position. And I I just think maybe in the attack and certainly down that left-hand side, we do miss that experience. And I think it's no surprise that he wanted Perisic. Swansea got a corner here, and this is something that we need to be careful about. And Martial's coming on with Fellaini, which is interesting.
Fellaini. Well, it's interesting to see where he gets played. It seems like every time I want to, well, every game almost, we're waiting for that Fellaini substitution and moan about it every week. But look, if he does get played, which it seems he will, he has to play in the opposition box for me. He can't come on for a Matic or even a Pogba or someone like that. He has to play up there and cause havoc in their box.
To be honest with you, I don't understand it. I don't understand why Fellaini is always the first substitution. And that worries me a little bit because it's not like we've got Ander Herrera on the bench. What has Herrera done wrong? I mean, I suppose he's probably thinking about height, but we're Manchester United at Swansea. Why are we thinking about height? Why are we not thinking about, actually, let's just go and get the second goal and win this game? And I don't think that's something that Fellaini gives us. But, I mean, as I said, Mourinho's the right man for Manchester United. I wouldn't swap him for everybody, and I do back him. But there are going to be decisions that I don't agree with. And I don't agree with Fellaini when you've got Herrera. But let's see what he does first.
Thing is, Mark, I think Mourinho is thinking, we're Manchester United, let's go get another goal, because he thinks, he's bringing Martial on, which is an attacking option, and I think he believes that Fellaini is a real threat to their box and to their goal. It's just I don't think.
It's not quite.
I just think we've got better options in Herrera and definitely Pereira. I've got no idea why he's not on the bench.
Here's Lukaku. He's not going to win the first ball. Well, we win the second ball. Mata. I think Mata will. That's something I was going to throw to the live comments and to you, Xander. I mean, Mata and Mkhitaryan, I think they've been okay, but they've not been. Maybe this sort of game doesn't suit them, away from home, physical sort of game. Fair play for Mourinho doing it. He could easily have played a midfield three. I say Herrera. Maybe he would have played Fellaini. Maybe that's his. Maybe he would have played Fellaini, Matic, and Pogba. I do have concerns about what's going on with Herrera a little bit now, because that's twice Herrera's not been brought on, and Fellaini has in the midfield position. But having said that, crosses are coming into the box, and it's always for Swansea. So that height probably is important, in fairness. Yeah,
I mean, I understand where Mourinho's coming from. I just think Fellaini lacks so much quality. If we're looking to create opportunities and create chances, Fellaini is the opposite of that. So, but
late on Blind there. Have we got a free kick and a yellow card? Step up Paul Pogba, I think, or Mata, before he takes him off. I think Rashford will come off for Martial, and then it will probably be Mata or Mkhitaryan for Fellaini, just to give us a little bit more height and physicality.
Just on the Mata and Mkhitaryan thing you were talking about, I think in a game like this, you need one of them to play that kind of creative killer pass and to unlock their defence. I just don't think two of them is necessary.
I think it works well at home. I think it works well against West Ham, but I think in this game, maybe I applaud, like I say, I applaud the fact that Mourinho went with a little bit more attacking, because it would have been easy to drop Mkhitaryan and just have three midfielders. But in hindsight, I think we would have probably found it a little bit easier to maybe have gone Rashford on the right, Lukaku up front, Martial on the left, and a midfield three of Pogba, Herrera, and Matic. But we're all geniuses in hindsight. So Blind and Pogba around the free kick. Be nice to get a goal. It's perfect. It's a sort of Beckham area free kick, so I think Pogba should take it and be looking over the wall in the top corner.
It's going to hit the bar.
He did just a bit too high. So 15 minutes to go. Let's watch it back again. So, yeah, it was going wide as well. Just about 2 metres too high. So Martial and Fellaini coming on. I would imagine Rashford and Mata off, or maybe Mkhitaryan. It's Rashford for Martial. Oh yeah, Mata and Rashford off, Martial and Fellaini on.
I just think we need to find a way to put Martial and Rashford in the same team. I think if you can do that, if you can put Martial and Rashford in the same team, you've got one hell of an attack. Easier said than done, but still, I think we should be striving for that.
I do think it's interesting about Herrera. I mean, I think Herrera last season under Mourinho was probably one of the first names on the pitch. I'm not sure he's had any time on the pitch this season. I can't remember if he came on against West Ham towards the end, but you know, it is odd. I didn't think we'd. I do find it odd. I find it really odd that Herrera now can't get a look in and Fellaini's coming on ahead of him. And yeah, I agree. Maybe it is to do with height, but it was nothing to do with height at home against West Ham when it happened. So, you know, Fellaini now finds himself again in that fortuitous position of getting lots of game time, and now at the expense of Ander Herrera. I disagree with it, but if we win the game, we win the game. That's what I want to see happening.
Yeah, I disagree with Fellaini in a Manchester United shirt, regardless of the situation. If I'm honest.
Well, I agree with that. To quote you, right? We're in here. Pogba's put. That's a good tackle, to be fair. Lukaku's just not had it today. Still only 1-0. I keep thinking, oh, you know, the game's in the bag, which it isn't. Martial's on now, and Rashford is off. Just for those people on about Martial, he is on.
To be fair, though, I feel sorry for their right back. You know, you've put up with Martial for 75 minutes, with Rashford for 75 minutes, and his constant, you know, pace and running in behind, and now you've got Martial to deal with.
I do agree with Cranium 1210. Fair should have been off. 2 tackles, 1 on Blind, 1 on Mata in the first half. He's only had 1 yellow card.
Well, I think, you know, swings and roundabouts.
I think what we're doing now, though, is the Fellaini substitution is totally about giving us a little bit more height, because I think Swansea are going to try and put balls into the box, and then maybe we can use people like Martial and Lukaku on the break.
Oh,
that's awful from Lukaku. Oh God, he's really. I tell you what, Lukaku today has shown the massive issues in relation to his build-up play.
But I wouldn't count against him to score today. You know, he can have an awful game and just pop up with a header or get a goal. That's what he does. You know, we saw him absolutely smash it over the bar against Real Madrid in the Super Cup final, and then just pop up with a goal. And you know, I wouldn't bet against him doing that today. When's our first real test? Do you know, Mark? Or I can look it up.
I know we've got Leicester. I don't think it is until sort of the end of September. I can't remember whether it might be City. I think City might actually be in December. So I can't remember what the first sort of tough test or potential test is.
We've got the first top 6 team that we're playing is Liverpool on the 14th of October.
Yeah, so we've got a good run.
This is who we've got. Leicester, Stoke, Everton, Southampton and Crystal Palace, and then Liverpool.
And we need to be looking to grind the results out and get those results done. Fellaini with a wasteful pass there.
We should be getting maximum points out of those teams if we're going to win the league. Obviously, that's an idealistic kind of thing. It probably won't happen like that, but you know, if we're going to want to push for the league, then that's really what we've got to be doing.
I'd like another goal in this game.
I'd like to.
There's Matic driving from the midfield again. He's very good at that. He's in. No, he's not. Yes, he is. No, he's not. Give it to Martial. I think what Martial does try and do, and I know he's only having cameos at the moment, is he really does try and not lose the ball when he's got it, and he's looking for passes, and I think that is maybe last season he was trying to do too much, and maybe that's what Rashford's doing a lot at the moment. But Martial, I know he's only had like 10 minutes last week and about 3 so far in this game, but when he does get the ball, he's looking to try and, you know, find a pass.
I think he needs to find that right balance between beating players and taking players on and finding that right pass, because if he constantly just passes, you know, you're going back to the Louis van Gaal days, because he's got such ability when taking players on. But yeah, I think what Rashford's doing at the moment is, if Rashford could get a final ball I think he'd get 15, 20 goals this season because he gets so many opportunities. It's just he needs to find that final ball.
Well, I'm only one goal away from having a right score prediction of 2-0 United. So I predicted Eric Bailly to score, which was just genius. I got every one of the starting lineup right. Here's Martial. There we go. Lukaku.
Come on.
Yes! Come on! Fortuitous or not.
See, mark my words. Was it Lukaku, Mark?
Yeah.
Told you, he can have a poor game and he'll pop up with a goal. That's what he does. That's what he does. Brilliant. I haven't seen it yet, but... Well, 2-0 now. Swansea gonna really have to try and come for us now, and that will hopefully leave many pockets that we can exploit, and hopefully we can have a similar last 10 minutes that we did against West Ham.
Mkhitaryan with the assist as well. Have you got?
Told you! Oh, brilliant!
Martial's run, but it was Mkhitaryan who ends up with the pass. Lukaku. And I tell you what, it's all coming in. I said Bailly would score, but the bet tip was Lukaku to score at any time, which he's done again. Second week in a row with that coming in. 3 assists from Mkhitaryan for the season now, says Nathan Tubbs. You know, he's hitting that Dortmund form. Surprise, surprise, when you put him into the midfield. So, yeah, very, very good.
That's why I put him in my fantasy league. Knew it. Brilliant. Bailly with the goal, Lukaku with the goal, and Mkhitaryan with the assist. That's a good fantasy league week.
And I predicted 2-0.
Yep.
Well, it might be 3-0, yeah, you know. Don't put it past Martial to score. It is 3-0. No. It's Pogba.
Come on.
Wow. It's all going off now for United. Very similar to West Ham. Very similar to West Ham. It's West Ham all over again.
Oh, this is so good.
You're getting your entertainment in, Xander, now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I told you, I said there's going to be gaps and hopefully we can have a similar last 10 minutes that we did against West Ham. And what have we done? 3-0. Brilliant.
I think it's going to be another Mkhitaryan assist. It is.
Yes. It keeps getting better and better.
3-0. I can't type quick enough because I'm trying to update the score and everything else. It could be 4. It could be 4 very soon. But Pogba again with a goal. A lovely little dinky finish. That's how you do a chip. That's how you do a chip, Marcus.
That's a fantastic finish. That is a finish of, wow. You know, that's the kind of finish we need to see Rashford doing. Calm, collected, not just smashing at the ball. Oh, that is brilliant.
So, and again, you know, a game where I would happily have ground out 1-0. You go and boost your goal difference again. We're up to +7 if it stays like this. So, massively encouraging, and a real reminder for people like Xander and that as well, who were being a bit negativity, that it is a 90-minute game, and if you keep tapping on the door can open twice. It could be a swing door, and it has been 2-0. You know, heads drop. That's the thing. I said it, didn't I? I think I tweeted it. Lukaku scores, game over. Swansea realise it's game over. Their work ethic drops because they're demoralised, and United just go, right, good teams go in for the kill. Goal difference is what it's all about, and very early days, but a goal difference of +7 at the moment, very, very encouraging.
I mean, now we're talking about this game like, you know, in the same light as we were last game. You know, we've and the positive thing about this game, I agree with you, Mark, is, you know, we've ground it out, we've held out, we've not conceded a silly goal, and then when we see the opportunity, we go for the throat.
And we're on the break again here. It's got Pogba. Please put Martial in. Go on. Go on. Oh, yes! Brilliant!
Is it?
Absolutely brilliant! Come on. This is it. This is it. Sexy football.
Is it Martial as well?
Yeah. Brilliant.
Brilliant. 4-0. That's a +8 goal difference in 2 games. Wow.
Mourinho barely... And
Mourinho plays boring football, defensive football, does he? Of course he does. Take the L, rival fans. Take the L.
It's Swansea's heads have just dropped completely. It's just Martial's still got a lot to do again, and it's just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Runs at his man, does him with the eyes, and then 3 players around him and finds the bottom corner. Brilliant.
What I will say-
Absolutely brilliant.
What I will say about that goal, though, Mark, is Lukaku held it up, and then I think it was Pogba that took it off him. So, we can criticise Lukaku's hold-up play, but he did well then.
4-0 again. 4-0 again.
Wow.
Could be fine.
That was a good finish as well. That's a calm, collected, clinical finish by Martial.
I can barely fit these players on. I'm going to have to make them smaller.
Oh, look at Mourinho's face. Wow. Wow, this is brilliant. Just breaking. We're so lethal on the counter-attack.
I know. It's been fantastic.
And that is from Martial. Look, people are going to call me out for this, but I think Martial's got more potential and more ability than Rashford. I don't know if you'd agree with me on that, but...
I'm a massive fan of both, to be honest, and I think the fact that Herrera's on now. I don't know who he's come on for. Probably Matic, but the fact that we've got such quality in the team, and the fact that Rashford and Martial are our options, I think they are 2 of the most exciting players, like Ross said, in the Premier League, and the fact that we have those options makes us very, very exciting. It's funny, isn't it? Because Mbappe apparently refused United because they don't play exciting football, and here we are 2 games in, no goals conceded, and 8, count them, 8 in the goal. So
stick that up your arse, Kylian.
Yeah. And again, if we can keep a clean sheet again, fantastic.
Oh yeah. This is so good, so good.
But again, we're faced with this this graft ethic again. This graft ethic of like fighting a team in the Premier League like you have to, and then eventually you grind them down with quality.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to go out and say, we're going to win the league and all that kind of stuff, but I think we've got a bloody good chance. And but like you say, until we play Liverpool on, I think it's the 18th of October, we really don't know where we're at as a team. We can grind results out and do well, but I think the big thing is we need to start winning against, the top 6 teams.
Exactly. I'm just trying to think who scored all the goals. I've got them in front of me. But again,
Lukaku...
match of the day is a pleasure tonight.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed the game. I mean, people were saying at half-time, it's a bit boring and everything like that, but I think the competitive element that Swansea gave us a real test, and then you get your rewards. You get your rewards at the end of the game when you come through that test and you win it. I've had a contribution from Rogue Punisher, 50 million down the drain, Tony Martial scores again. Matthew McFadden, last season the bus would have been parked at 1-0 with 70 minutes to go. That's the difference. It's a sheer contrast. Fantastic point, and thanks for the contribution, Matthew, but fantastic point, because this is what Mourinho used to do with his good Chelsea sides. He'd go and absolutely batter teams. There was a season where he didn't do that. I think it was the last year, but when he was first at Chelsea, they'd go and win 3 or 4-0 because he used to understand the goal difference. And I think he's clocked that goal difference will be important this season based on the things that teams like City are doing.
And maybe last season he felt that if we proper went for it and left ourselves slightly exposed at the back, we might not have had the ability and the players to hold out a win. And now he's got players like Matic in, Lindelof. I know he's not playing, but he feels more secure at the back. Wow! Oh, what a game! What a Saturday!
What a way to start it!
Exactly. And now all the other teams have got to respond, catch us up. The last thing you want to do is, like Chelsea, start chasing the pack from the off. And as it is, we're leading it, which is all positives.
I know, 8 goal difference at the moment.
Jesus Christ! When this is like, the 4-0 was the biggest win since like September 2015 or something, and now we've done it 2 games in a row.
I know.
Wow! I'm just smiling from ear to ear.
Well, Swansea have sort of finally decided to shut up shop themselves again because they realise
damage limitation for them now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, love it.
But Martial again, just a cameo of brilliance, and that, you know, if you've got somebody on your bench, and he may well be on the bench against Leicester again, to be honest, would you? I probably would make changes against Leicester, because I think the difference with this game is that the starting lineup, it was only 1-0. The subs actually did sort of make a massive difference in this.
I'd play Martial. I think you know, you can commend Rashford's work ethic, his running. But if Martial's coming on 2 games in a row, he's got half an hour to do it, and he puts 2 goals in with clinical finishing. It's not like he's had like 5 chances and he's, you know, fluffed 4 and he's scored 1. He's had 1 chance and he's put them away. So I think you need to reward that that type of clinical finishing and starting against Leicester.
Yeah, I do agree with you on that one. Who would your man of the match be? I mean, I do my match reaction. I'll give my ratings and my man of the match, and I think mine might surprise a few people. But obviously. Give us your thoughts.
It is a really tricky one. I think Pogba's done very well in the second half, in my opinion. He's got us, you know, he's moved the ball from defence to attack very well. But he had a very poor first half as well. I don't think Lukaku's done much, but he's popped up with a goal and held up the ball. It's a really tricky one.
I think yet again, there's numerous shouts to players, and the only one who probably can't get it, which is again great news, it would be David De Gea, because has he really been tested? No, and again that shows you that the defenders in front of him and Matic and Pogba have done a good job there.
I think your surprise is going to be Eric Bailly. I don't know if that's true or not, but the reason why I think you're going to do that is because brilliant desire to win the first, to get the first goal. Also, at times where Jones let him down positionally and they put crosses in, he's dealt with it, and without him there, we could have gone a few goals down. So I think, you know, mark my words, Mark Goldbridge is man of the match, Eric Bailly.
I'll just change it now, just because of that. But no, I think Eric Bailly's a good shout, but dodging the question a bit, who was yours?
I'll probably go Eric Bailly as well now I've discussed it. I don't think, you know, there's so many attacking options. I just don't think someone has had a whole rounded performance like Eric Bailly has.
Interesting. I don't want Swansea to score. They're on the attack here a little bit, but I don't know who Herrera came on for.
Mkhitaryan.
Oh, right. Okay, so it was literally, he's not going to get any more assists. He's got 3 today. No, 2. He got 2 assists today because Pogba got... I tell you what, a lot of people have got Pogba and Mkhitaryan in their fantasy football team, and Pogba's got a goal and 2 assists today.
Yeah, but he got a yellow card. That deducts points.
Yeah, but not as much as 2 assists.
That's true. Yeah, but has anyone else got Bailly, Mkhitaryan and Lukaku, with Lukaku on a triple captain?
I've got Lukaku captain, but he's only got the 1 goal, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's true.
Wow, we've got loads of people watching. I hadn't realised that because I was just setting up the stream whilst talking and watching. What'll happen is the link is in the video description. It's in the top line. If you click that when this stream ends, I'll go over and do my man of the match. Warrelly's made a contribution. He says man of the match has to be Mkhitaryan for the assist. You know what? Again, last season we knew who the man of the match was. It was obvious. This season it's hard, and that's what it should be because it's a massive indicator that Manchester United are doing great things. But thanks for joining me, Xander, as per usual. Just very quickly, we are massively close to hitting 130,000 subscribers, which we didn't think was possible. There's a lot of people watching. If you are watching and you're new, please click that subscribe button. There's the hologram at the bottom. Make sure you click the bell as well. We could hit 130,000. 8 goals scored, no goals conceded. The final whistle's just gone. 6 points. Perfect yet again. So help us at 130,000 and do get involved with the United Stand. It's a very interactive community. And remember as well, we are live again at 8 o'clock tonight. Skype is open for you to call in and have your say about the game, which is something that we've really enjoyed last week and is new for this season. So lots of ways to get involved. But thanks for coming on, Xander, as usual.
No worries, Mark. It's always a pleasure. And well, what a brilliant day and a brilliant game.
Cheers, pal. I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you, Mark. Cheers.
So that's Xander. That's United finished. Just brilliant. You know what? I'm going to keep it all back for the match reaction. Thanks everybody who's been part of the watch along. We've been live since an hour before the game with the team news all the way through till full time. What a great season it is for us at the moment. We're getting perilously close to that 130,000 subscribers, which would be fantastic. The link is in the video description. I'm going to be over there in 60 seconds with my match reaction, my player ratings, my thoughts on United. There's a couple of things I do want to talk about. Lingard's just made a great contribution doing his little handshake. But yeah, very, 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 very positive. And join me over there. I'll literally be 60 seconds. Link in the video description. Please leave a like on this video before we go because we nearly hit 2,000 likes. I'll see you in 60 seconds. Link in the video description. We'll do the match reaction. What a day. I'm still in shock. I won't be in 60 seconds.